Welcome back to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is another beautiful Saturday afternoon in Georgia. It's about 8 million degrees, and you're here with us in the safe space. Please tell a friend about us. Follow us on Instagram at 52s and Smoke. Check out our YouTube channel at 52s and Smoke, where you can catch up on all our episodes and be on the lookout for a couple of new shows coming out very soon. Fantasy Outsiders is coming back with the NFL season right around the corner, and Made with Real will be coming your way pretty damn soon. So check us out, man. We here again Saturday. How's everybody feeling? Let me introduce you to my friends around the table. I got EP with me.
What up?
Dumpling.
What's going on?
Mandy Bugs.
Hey.
And Mezzy. What's happening?
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Man, stop doing that. Every time you do that, I want to go straight. I want to go straight into the accents.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the accent show.
We do, man.
Point.
How's everybody doing? What did y'all do this weekend? I know last week was Memorial Day weekend. Y'all have anything cool happening this weekend? What was going on?
We went tubing today
Hit
down the river.
Hit the hooch.
I'm still talking the Australian accent. Yeah, we went tubing and it was fine.
Yeah,
we
it was great.
Drank beer and sat in a tube. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's
for like 2 hours.
It's the most lazy thing you can do because like the river pushes you.
Yeah,
you don't
it's
even
not
do anything.
like
You just
whitewater
chill.
rafting.
It's like a big tube though, right? With other people or just your own tube?
Well,
we
we
had a
tied.
double.
Yeah, we had a double. We had like a cooler between us with beer and stuff, and we tied
Yeah.
like 8 other people to us. It was cool.
It was rad.
Honestly, when I hear tubing, I think it's like way more active than
It's-
that. I
yeah,
never
like-
realized it was y'all just
Well,
chilling.
I
drinking
grew
beer.
up
All the
like
rivers out
tubing
here.
That's what we're
down
doing,
like
yeah.
actual rivers with like rapids and like whirlpools and stuff, and people would die when.
Well, I mean, you can do that. That's just not.
And so
Well, yeah, no.
I definitely, this was my first time tubing in Georgia, and I was like, oh my god, I'm kind of nervous. Like I hope nobody gets hurt, and
No,
it
it's
was like
fun.
kind
That's
of.
why I was always against
most-
it. I was like, it sounds like too much work, too much
It was
adventure
so
for me.
relaxing.
But you just really, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Depends on
having
the
a
river.
good weekend. I did nothing so far, which
That's not a bad thing.
I like it that way.
I'm right there with you, man.
Anyway, man, stuff going on in the world. What else is going on? Nothing crazy was going on. I know we had a conversation earlier this week that wasn't on mic, I would say.
Oh, it was so funny.
So we decided we wanted to bring it to the safe space. This is where we discuss these type of things. So my question that I had that led to a pretty interesting conversation with me and Mezzy, I wanted to bring to the group, bring to the family, to our community out there of people listening to us. And, you know, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm right. I'm probably right. No, I'm right. Anyway.
So confident.
Wow, man.
Well,
I don't know.
see.
Hey, you know what? It is what it is. But my question was, okay, how about this? Do you believe can a man believe that he is his partner's best sex partner ever?
What about a woman? Can a woman believe that?
I believe that too. Like, I think that's the other side of the question is that too.
Okay.
Will a woman believe
Right.
that? You know what I mean? So what I mean is, if your girl tells you you're the best ever, do you believe that? Do you believe in your mind you're your partner's best sex partner? Do you have women that you can say, look back on and say, I know I was the best she's ever had? Are you the best anybody has ever had?
I think there's a lot of factors that go into it.
I think
I have
so
a
as
lot
well.
to say on it,
I
but
think so
I'll
as
wait
well.
till you dish. You think that it's not possible that you are the best that your wife has ever had, or you are skeptical
I'm
that
skeptical.
you are.
I would say I'm skeptical.
That's sad.
And not because of anything that she said or done. We've actually had this conversation. I've gotten confirmation from her about it. And I'm like, it's just when I start to like analyze sex in general and what people like, what people don't like, the different aspects of sex, the different ways you can, all these different things, I start to look at myself like, am I bringing all of that to the table all
Like,
the
are
time?
you giving her everything she wants?
Am I bringing that to the table every single time? Or was there ever a point where I brought all of it to the table at the same time to make it the best ever? You know what I mean? So how can I confidently say I'm the best she's ever had? And then on top of that, here's the kicker. Okay, here's the shitty part. I know last week we were talking about abortions and all of that stuff, and we love women. Yes, I do. But I think a lot of them lie when it
Ew.
comes to this topic.
Well, I think a lot of men lie, so fuck you.
It's a fact. It's a fact. But
Well,
that's the
I
thing.
think I think it's in human nature to lie, and I think some people lie to help people feel better.
Right.
One thing that I was thinking about, this is kind of, maybe this is like kind of spicy, but I don't want anybody to get offended by it, but it's a safe space. It's like if you are insecure about certain areas of yourself that maybe you can't ever change no matter what, Those
it could be a
things,
self-reflective thing. Yeah, you project your insecurities on other
you
people.
do. Like, so you might think, oh, well, there's no way I could ever be the best because I have this thing that I personally am insecure about, whether it's, a part of your body or a skill that you lack or something. Hopefully that brushes over it as
So you think it's
calmly
more
as
of
possible.
you have to be secure with yourself. Like,
Well, also,
if someone said like, yeah, you're the best I've been with, but like I'm.
But you're like,
I know her history, and I feel so worse than they are.
You have to. I think it's a balance of trust, but it's also like you have to know that people might lie to protect you because it doesn't matter anyway. Like it's like,
Right.
oh, I've been with a guy who has a bigger dick than you, and you'll never be as good as him. Like that's hard to tell somebody.
Exactly. So
that's kind of what I'm saying.
So if that's the case in someone's history, you wouldn't know that because you weren't there.
Yeah.
So when they tell you you're the best,
lied to you about
how
all
do you
that
believe
too?
it?
Well, and it's also
Or
like
he lied about
it's
it.
also like, why should she tell you, oh, well, actually, I had one guy who was bigger than you? Because all that's going to do is haunt you for the rest of your life.
Right.
That's fair.
And make your life miserable and nothing else. You can never go to the store and buy a bigger dick.
So why-
Actually-
so when you ask these questions, with all of those reasons, go ahead.
Well, why would you even ask the fucking question?
Exactly.
Has
It's
anybody-
kind of like a.
Has
it's
anybody
just-
ever been in that situation where anybody ever even said that? Like
What?
they talked about like
Your
I
dick's
have.
not big enough?
no, just like past dicks. Just like
I think I've
talked
probably
about
dished on it, but
yeah.
that's.
to a dude, to somebody.
Oh yeah, me and Matt are like we talk about a lot of stuff. So I've been like, oh yeah, I've been with guys that are way,
Whoa.
uncomfortably. I don't know. This is a safe space,
uncomfortably
isn't
what?
it? Like,
This
It is.
a safe
like
space.
just not a good proportions. And I'm talking.
But they have giant balls and a small dick.
No, I don't know. It's,
Like, what?
it's I don't know. It's weird. I think it's like, I don't know. I think what it comes down to for me is like, if this is your life partner, first of all, everybody always says it. It's not, the size that matters. It's what you do with it.
the motion in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's
So
how you
that
tickle
is
the
true.
pickle.
Obviously you can make it work no matter what.
Really, can you though? That's mean. But I mean, if it's
Yeah. Well,
Like a micro.
some people can make up for what they lack. I think probably, maybe, who knows?
all right,
Hopefully.
that's not mean. But I just
Other people are just blessed, but I think in some ways it makes them feel like they don't have to work harder in other areas. I sound like a hoe right now. Like
No,
I've like been
no,
around.
no,
the
this
block.
is the
But like I'm
safe
not.
space.
No.
But I mean, if you're in a relationship, the way I see it is like you guys, trust each other. It's like you guys talk about everything.
Exactly.
So you should. I feel like men and women should talk about what do they like,
Yes.
right?
And
They
get
should-
better.
They should talk about it. It's like, hey, did you like this or like that?
That's fair.
And
That's
once
very
you figure
true.
out what
Yeah,
they
man.
like,
Yes.
then that would be
That
the
is
best.
what
no
it
matter
comes
what.
down
yeah,
to.
that's true. Because like if like I said, the past history of the person that they've been with, and you're like, well, what do you like?
Yeah.
With what I have. I mean, it would be cold if somebody that you're with that really loves you, and like, well, what can I do to like please you? And she says, oh, well, nothing with what you have. It's like they would.
that's
Well, no,
they
then it's
would.
like
They wouldn't want to.
That's
They wouldn't
cold.
be with you.
Yeah.
that's a shot
Well,
in the
also
chest.
then it's like kind of, first of all, what rock has this woman been living under? Because your dick isn't the only thing that you can use to make sex good. First of all,
I mean,
unless you're a
you
pilgrim.
Can. That's why it's sex.
Like
Your dick.
what?
how
Well,
you
I
that's-
know you know better than
No.
that.
Well,
But
no, some girls or some females, they don't. What is it? Come through penetration.
no, well,
right? Or not most.
it's
some,
harder
right?
for some than others. It's
Right,
harder
sorry,
for
It's
some.
sorry.
harder for some.
No, that's true.
Um,
Penetration versus the
Clitoral simulation.
simulation or stimulation.
stimulus.
Yeah.
Either or.
But either way, I feel like a lot of guys, like, it's really sad because a lot of women are trained, like, and indoctrinated. Basically, guys think that sex works different ways because they learn it in porn. Like, they think
Yeah.
that if they just fucking slap you in the fucking vagina, that you're gonna come, which is fucking wrong. They really do. And I'm like, where did you learn this? They're like, oh, I've seen it in porn. I'm like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't do that ever again.
Oh, so many things.
Like, I'm gonna. It's so dumb.
Yeah, the stuff dudes learn from porn.
Or I don't know, they just think if they just think you're always gonna come. But that's why a lot of girls fake it.
you do know
is
in
because
porn,
it's just like
most of them never do.
it's such a
Like
pain in
ever.
the ass
Yeah.
to get a guy to learn. But when you're with your life partner, it's so sad to me when I talk to my friends who are women. They're like, they've been with a guy for like a couple years and they're like, I don't really enjoy sex that much. It's just kind of something we do. And I'm like, why not? And they're like, oh, he's not, he doesn't really know how to do anything. And I'm like, why haven't you fucking talked to him? Why haven't you
Right.
taught him? Like, why aren't you open? Guys need to have less of an ego so that when your girl comes to you and says, hey, here's some feedback. You know, I think that you could do this better. I think you could work on this. Maybe read some articles. Maybe do this. Maybe do that. Like, guys need to. I've met guys who are like, who get like offended by that.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
like,
I feel like guys never
Stop
get put in their
fucking getting
place,
offended.
Really?
Just shut.
well,
Just
it's a
stop.
man thing to. It's a sharp point to poke at a man's sexual prowess
Yeah.
and their
Yeah.
abilities and stuff like that. It's definitely gonna. It takes a very trusting, strong relationship to be
for
able
sure.
for a man to expose himself that way and talk about it in
Yeah.
a genuine way to try to learn something where they feel like they've always been doing what they need to do in order to satisfy women, and then to find out, oh, you're not,
Like, yeah.
and you need to do this and fix that, and it takes a man a while to get to that point. Like
Right.
I mean,
It's
just,
sad.
It's the way men are made up.
Society's
you know
broken. I think
for
a lot
me-
of like the women. Oh, sorry.
No, go
You
ahead,
go.
go ahead,
I was
go
just gonna say really quick. I think a lot of women are kind of trained by society to fake it
Yeah.
a lot of the time
Mhm.
because it
Mhm.
takes a little while longer for some women to get off, and they don't want to have to make it awkward. Like the guy already got off, and now he just has to sit there, and he's not really into it anymore because he already got off, and he has to get her off. It's like a whole big like thing. So a lot of women are just like, I'm just gonna fake it to get it over with, or to make it go away, or make it stop.
But that's a part of
And
the
it
I
thing.
feel-
trains
I-
guys to think that they're better at sex than they are because they think, oh, in the past, all these girls that I was with, I got them
That's
off.
true.
Why can't
Oh,
I get
shit.
you off? And it's like,
That's
I'm being
true.
honest with you. That's why you didn't get them off.
I feel like one
Dude,
thing.
she fucking tricked you. She fucking faked it. You didn't get her off. I'm
Okay,
being honest
so
with
when
you.
those things happen, and then a man is like, okay, so how can I consider myself the best ever if one, I just found out 1,000 women have faked it with me.
Yeah.
Two, you just told me a billion things I need to improve on to be good. How do I know when I improved on good enough to make it great for you? Why would I believe that you're telling me I'm the best you
You
ever
know
had?
why? Because she's being honest with you. And because if your girl has
But she
had
just faked it 2 nights ago.
listen, if your girl has had the honesty with you to tell you that you're not the best, then when she tells you you are the best, she's being honest.
But in a man's mind, my mind, I don't believe you. I don't believe anything you say when it comes to sex anymore. I mean, just think
Just
about
women in general.
not most women. Most women in general, I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think about it like
I-
this. Ask your, like, if you were to go and ask your wife or girlfriend or anything right now, I challenge all the men out there to do this right now. If you ask your girl, how was the sex with said ex or the ex before that or the one night stand you had? How was the sex? Tell them to rate the sex. I promise you, 90% of those reviews of sex are going to be negative. Why is that? You're telling me I'm the first person you had a positive sexual experience with, and all of the guys you've been with before was negative. What are the chances? What are the stats on that?
to
Like,
be
that's why I
honest,
start thinking that they're
I
lying.
think
Yeah.
it's probably more common than you think.
It is very
That they have
common. I have a
terrible-
lot of girlfriends. I am a woman.
Yes, you are.
It is very common for women to come in
Thankfully.
sexual contact with guys who have absolutely no idea what they're doing, which I already addressed. So it is more common than you think that women have had very disappointing sexual encounters. They are aplenty for women.
See that?
And no, this is my experience. And when I was like, I think it really does take for a lot of people that relationship with trust where a woman can finally be like, you know what, this is what I like. Maybe we can work on this to have a fulfilling sex life. Like there's guys can just get off and they can have good sex all the time because it's easy for them. Whereas like it's easier for women. It's easier for men to have a better sexual encounter than women. It really is. How many times do men get off in intercourse versus how many times do women?
Every time.
And how many times do women get off? EP, you're giving me looks over there.
No, it's just I have a Jeff Foxworthy joke in my head now.
It's just like I would say even now with like my sex life being awesome, I don't get off every single time. And sometimes I'm just like, fuck it, we don't have time for this. Like it's sad. But it's like no, but I would say it's like 90% of the time for me, but it's 100% for him. So
See,
it
now
kind of sucks.
this is where I don't know. It's just so many different angles because I think number one, you're telling me most women had bad sexual experiences in the past,
in
right?
my opinion.
And I can tell you 90% of the women I've slept with had all positive experience. I'm not saying the best ever, but they were all positive. They all got off.
You know for sure because it went everywhere. Is that what you're saying?
No,
What?
I'm not,
So
that's
they
what I'm
could've-
saying. I
so
don't
you're
know for
saying
sure, but I know
they
I
could
don't
have
think
faked it.
They could have, but I don't think so.
Right.
But that's the same way I treat when people say that, you tell somebody they're the best, because how do you know for sure? The same way you just asked me if they got off for sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's how do you know if you're the best ever when they're telling you that? You just don't know. And that's
so
just
you
my
have to
stance.
like find somebody who you can trust, who when they look at you in the eyes and they say it, you can believe them. And I feel like that me and Matt personally have that, because we have been able to tell each other that wasn't great, work on it. And then we can be like, hey, that was really, obviously you could see me physically, you know, reacting to your to your methods. So it was good. Or and like vice versa, like Matt will still to this day tell me like, you've improved a lot since the first time we ever hooked up. And so
But
that's nice to
good,
have.
but
Like
that's
you can
not
Again,
best
it's
ever.
a circumstance, I think.
I do think it is circumstance.
It
Because
is.
each relationship is different.
Because, like, again, with Amanda and I, everybody that we've been with before this, it just never really seemed to work
and it was
out.
like a bad situation anyway.
So
it was
like
like me, 16-year-old.
So like I was telling you, you know, for us, it's just kind of it's a natural thing to just be like, I agree. I trust that you are telling the truth, and you trust them, because again, but you know, like I was telling you as well, Amanda and I met when we were younger.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
she
it's
was
true.
20 and I was 23. So now she's almost 27 and I'll be 30. You know, if we were single for those years,
Right.
it would be a lot different.
So I can see where you're coming from if I had more sex escapades.
And when we met, we were both, you know, not in a good mental state of mind.
Yeah.
And, you know,
We hadn't had
physically
a
we
lot
felt
of-
kind of weird, you know.
Yeah.
I was still severely skinny
Right.
and, you know, you were
And like
struggling
I
with
had
things.
more partners than he had, but it had all been when I was in high school, like in the back of
Yeah.
cars, really quick, stupid, like nothing where it was like these guys knew what they were doing. They treated me to the standard high school flop all over the top of you.
Yeah, but-
like I didn't get anything mind blowing before.
But say you were single, and then say we just met like last week. It could have been really good,
yeah,
you know? So
yeah,
like
it depends.
that's an interesting point too, but like say you meet in your 30s. Say you're like 35, 36,
Right.
30,
I can see where you would
32 to
think.
38.
you would double think.
That's a
Or
really weird
double
bracket
think.
to pick, but usually at that time they've had decent
Double
experience. They've
guess.
had multiple people that they've been with relationships. So I would understand if Amanda and I met when she was like in her 30s and she's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're the best I've had her." I'm like,
And you're
"Dude."
like, are you sure?
I'm like, "Okay,
Really?
cool. So you've been smoking for the past 15 years, like, you know,
Oh my God, are you
attractive."
saying
No,
that's
like,
nice?
okay. And it's like
I gotta take the compliment.
you've been with a bunch of dudes, and you know,
Yeah.
especially if I saw them, and again too, all the dudes she's been with, they haven't exactly been like, you know,
just not
attractive.
very,
Really, I mean, they haven't been
well,
super disgusting, but you know what I mean.
They just weren't very.
They were younger too. Again, so like if she met a dude now,
They were selfish, basically.
and we met 4 or 5 years from now, and I was like, damn, he was a good looking guy. Like, there's no way I would believe you. So I really think
But what
that's
does looks have to do with it?
because dudes know when dudes look fucking good. Dude,
I
I mean,
people know
even if the guy looks good, that doesn't mean.
No, I
I
know,
wouldn't
I
have-
know. I'm
You
just
know
saying.
who's going to get laid before you.
And you also like
But we're talking about best.
You have to
I'm
be
talking about
kind of
performance.
attracted
How
to-
you
Yeah,
felt
yeah, yeah.
when it was happening.
another thing.
Regardless of what the guy looks like.
Just really quick before I let you go on a tangent, because I know you are brimming. I think if you're in a good relationship, you should work towards making each other the best that you'll ever have. You should work towards it at all times, so that maybe if you aren't now, someday you will be, because you'll know each other inside and out, and you'll
What if
do
it's-
everything that
what
you
if
want.
it's just not possible?
What do you
What do
mean?
you mean
Why
it's
wouldn't
not
it be
possible?
I
possible?
don't
to
know.
be the best. Are you
I think
saying
it's really
Oh,
sad.
that's a good point.
What if
That's a
it's just
good
really
point.
just not?
What, you don't
what
have
if what if she loves you? Like she just loves you so much. She loves the idea of you. She loves everything about you. But for some reason, when she gets between the sheets, it's just something.
Do
Why?
And
do
you had the conversation.
But do you have to be the best?
That's the thing. do
Well,
you have to be the best?
No,
Because
Like,
even
why
though
is it
even
so
though
important to be the
that's an
best?
important
Let's-
thing in a
I don't think it is.
relationship,
At the end
him
of the
being
day,
a respectful guy, you know, XYZ, all this good stuff, that may
Yeah, I
overtake
think-
other things because maybe he can do other things with other parts. You know,
well,
that
it
may
comes
make
down
up
to
for
at the
it.
end of the
I
day
don't know.
how much you value sex in your relationship.
Yeah.
Some people,
this is an impossible answer.
some people, it's
Yeah.
individual, because some people I've talked to, I have friends, I have lots of girlfriends. This is kind of something that I've realized is prevalent among women, which I have my own opinions about. I think maybe there's underlying causes for stuff like this, but I have a lot of my women friends aren't really into sex. They don't really like having sex. They do it maybe once a month or something, which to me
And they
personally,
have like long-term partners.
yeah, to me that's really crazy. Like I've been in a relationship for 6 years, and I still personally think like 3 to 4 times a week is like good for me.
like
Messy's over here giving the
Like,
thumbs
I-
up.
I think-
touchdown.
I just
mean,
like, I mean, if I'm gonna have a guy living in my house, he's gonna have sex with me. I'm gonna take him
I
up
mean,
on that.
Thank you, thank you.
But
I
like
mean,
for
and
other
then-
women, they are like, oh my God, that's crazy. That's how much we used to have sex in the first like couple of weeks of our relationship, but now no more. And I'm like, well, that's just my relationship. I guess it's just important to me. But I also think, I'm like, you know, have you ever thought about maybe it's your birth control who's throwing your libido off, or it's like
You were telling me
something.
about
There's a
that.
lot of
Sometimes
stuff
it
like
doesn't
that
work.
There's a
going on,
lot
too.
of stuff like that.
I
It's
think
sad.
there's a couple of things. I think you guys' situation is a rare one, a smaller percentage of the national majority or whatever. So I'm not saying it's not possible. I don't think it's common, and I don't think it's a lot of people, number one.
Yeah,
Number two,
exactly.
I'm definitely not talking about me. I've had these conversations with my wife, and she's told me the development the same way where you say it's decent and then it gets better and then it gets great.
That's good.
You know
She
what I'm saying?
means
We've
she's
had
been
that,
honest with you.
which I feel like she's been honest with me. Do I have to believe her? Probably not. But I'll take it. I'll take it. It is what it is. I'll take it. She
But
says
is it
I'm
because
the best.
is
I'll
it
take
you as a person you don't believe?
Well, I guess
I'm not
it's
trying
me
to
as
get
a
in your-
person, which on the
Like-
other hand of insecurities and stuff
Yeah.
like that might be a part of it. Or there's a lot of things that go into it. But you said something that you said, is it possible? And I was thinking, okay, so you're talking to your partner and they're telling you they want you to do X, Y, and Z. What if those things aren't physically possible for you to accomplish?
Is it like not physically
Well,
possible, or
that's
is it like
why
you're
they
not
make
into it?
vibrators, man.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Amanda, didn't you tell me a lot of girls that you like your friends that are women, they can't get off unless they have like a vibrator?
Yeah, which is another thing that I feel like
Vibrators fuck up the clitoris.
I have never used one in my life.
No, they do.
They do.
Really?
And
That's why you shouldn't be.
They
or-
desensitize the clitoris.
Don't they?
And
Really?
then when you don't have sex with a vibrator,
You can't
it's
get
gonna
off
be
without
harder
it.
for that person to get
Yeah.
off. So you got to untrain the clitoris.
You gotta
from the
unvibrate that
vibrator.
baby.
That makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense
It's
to
like
me.
it's
It
like
does.
jerking off a lot.
Yeah.
Same way.
Whoa.
Yeah, it trains.
Wow.
Are you serious?
For sure. And you gotta like, hey, we need to put that
That
thing
explains
away.
a lot, Amanda.
Don't bring that out
Yeah.
for a
Never
while.
used one.
You don't bring that out for a while to get your body back
Oh
used
my
to the
God.
normal
But
If
stimulation
you think
from
about
another
it,
human
if
being.
you're jerking yourself
It's like a
off,
tolerance or something.
You know
like,
how to grip your dick and shit. You know like what kind of
Dude,
grip you like.
that is the hardest thing to
But
teach
if a,
somebody.
But if a girl
but
tries
it
to-
can be taught.
but it can be taught. But if a girl
Yo,
jerks you off,
when
it
you've been-
doesn't feel
Not yet.
good.
It's not the
right?
same.
Not
Yeah, it's
for-
not the same.
It
Exactly.
never is.
when you've been grabbing that shit since like 12.
Exactly. That's the same as using.
I
a
will say
vibrator.
the same for me.
It's
and
true. No, it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying
Let
it's
me
just
ask
like,
you a
kinda like, what are
question.
you
Do you ever
Not you,
You
other
ever-
people.
you
it's
ever
okay.
ask-
I would believe you.
Do you ever ask a girl to do something sexual not because you're going to enjoy it, but only because you want to say you made them do this thing?
What? What are you talking
Talking
about?
to the guys. Talking to the
What do
guys.
you mean,
Like
dude?
lick your butt?
Whoa! Why is it always about butts?
I mean, that could be on the list, but
Yeah.
it's
That's a
definitely- it
sign.
wasn't on my
That's
list.
a sign, Mezzy.
Like certain things you want to do or have a girl do, not because you
Just to tell other
particularly
people
enjoy
that you
it,
did it.
but to say that this is
What, you
old-
want
this
bragging
is
rights
old
and
shit.
shit?
like, hey,
it's your
you wanna
own, I'm not even
brag?
telling nobody. It's
Let
just
me
my
come
own
on your
mind.
face or something.
You know what I'm saying? When that's might not
Never
even
mind,
be
I'm
the
not
best
saying
thing to
anything.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that.
If it's not the best, don't fucking make us do it.
But that's what I'm saying. I think dudes still do it just because, like, I have to do it once, and then I never actually do it again. But I
I
had to
hear
do it
ya.
that one time
Yeah,
to say
yeah.
I've done it. Because
Yeah.
if not, then in the back of your mind, you always think that
You're like,
another guy has done it to him.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, I get it.
That reminds me of
about the other guy.
That reminds-
we're different people because I don't give a fuck who's
I don't
No,
either.
that's right.
Like,
It's like
yeah.
who gives a fuck?
At the end of the day,
You
I'm
don't
still
give a
fucking this girl. Like,
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe it's just me. I'm just saying. I
No,
normally.
Ahmad, I get what you're saying. Oh my God. I don't know if we could talk about this. Remember that one
Nope.
thing? Okay.
Either way, from a man perspective or from my perspective, I don't say men because you guys say that you don't care. You don't give a shit. So, okay, let me ask you this. You don't care, right? You don't care what the girl has done. Correct, right? You start having sex with the girl, right? You're doing.
It falls back to what I said originally. When you start digging into that stuff, you're going to get your butt hurt.
It is. It's
okay,
true.
but sometimes it comes out without
Everything's so
you knowing. You might
different.
be playing
true.
taboo or something. I don't know. Whatever.
Wait.
And something may come out where she's done something that you never even thought could happen. Maybe she's, fucking, I don't know, something weird. Like,
Anal.
Oh, no, not even anal. Titty fuck.
There you
titty
go
fuck.
again.
Oh, so the girl titty fucked and he busted in the mouth from the titty fuck, right? All right, this is very explicit. I hope whoever's listening to this don't have a problem.
No,
Turn
there's
this shit
no
off now.
problem.
You probably should turn it off 20
hey,
minutes.
we're all adults.
Either
God
way,
damn.
so she's titty fucking. She came. Dude came on her
Wait,
face.
she came too?
No, he came.
Oh, I was like, wow.
From the titty fuck, right?
Impressive.
If she
I
loves
know,
you,
right?
that
You've
came
never
from
titty
that,
fucked her.
that's
You guys have a great relationship. Everything's cool. Sex is amazing.
Why haven't
and then
you
you
asked?
find out.
Yeah,
and then you find out from some odd means that she had the titty fucking episode with this dude. And he came in her face. Are you gonna feel like, damn?
I'm gonna be like,
Damn.
so wait, we can titty fuck?
No,
let's go.
Yeah. It's like,
But you haven't done it before, and
But
she's not into
either
it.
A.
Oh, she's not into
She's
it.
not into it anymore.
Well,
Oh,
you
she's not
haven't
into-
asked. it's kind of a
Is
thing.
she into it or is she not into it? If she's
She
not
may
into
not
it,
be into it, she
and
may
she
be
told
into
me
it.
she's not into it, then I won't do it.
Exactly, because then it's like you're making her do something she
Yeah,
doesn't like doing.
Yeah,
And
that's a big
Is that
one.
not going to bother you?
That's a
No.
big one. It's
it bothered
weird.
me more to
Yes.
force her to do something that she doesn't want to
It
do.
probably
fucking
should, but
weird.
in my mind, I'm walking the earth with this woman who I'm going to marry, and I'm the only person.
And that's it.
And I'm one
You're never
person
gonna
in
get
this
anywhere
world
else.
who's never titty fucked her. But there's a guy walking the earth who has.
But
and
she's
that's
not with
right.
that dude
I don't give a
anymore.
shit. He
And
has-
she hated it. How about that? Can't you see that in your head? Like it was weird for her. She didn't like it.
She
So
don't really remember if she did
then
it
get
or
her-
liked
I don't
it or
know.
not.
For me,
I don't know. I'm
it's
just
So
like-
wait, she tried it and then she was like, I don't want to do it. That means she obviously doesn't like it.
Well, no, she moved on from that phase of her life by the time you met her. By the time you met
See,
her.
but that shouldn't bother
Wait,
you.
is that a phase though?
I don't know.
Do people go through a titty fucking phase?
I don't
like
know. I'm
I
just
don't know. I can
saying.
see what you mean. Like if Matt say hypothetically,
Oh God.
no, it's just like if you were into something really weird. Say you wanted me to dominate you. We all know that I'm very much not that
I think
person.
you
I'm
would
the
like that.
opposite. I would
Ow.
not like that. I'm a very submissive person, and I don't think I would be able to be like, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like I don't think I would be able to be that girl.
I don't think
like
that's
with the
how it
whip
works,
and
but
stuff.
okay.
I don't even know
that's
how
how
it
it
works.
works.
I'm such a I don't even. I would be so bad at that. But if he was so into it and he wanted to be dominated so hard, I would feel awful because I'd be like, I could never take myself seriously.
You feel
I
like
just
you
have a
can't
question.
do
I
it.
just want you to
Just have
do
a
that.
question. What would be your safe word?
Oklahoma.
We just like tap out because I'm in jujitsu and stuff. So that's kind of my that's safe.
3 taps.
Like I'm gonna pass out. Just kidding.
I don't know. I remember I went through this phase where I don't.
It was your sexual conquest phase, right? You're just.
I had to do anal.
Sexual Comcast.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait,
are you
she
gonna,
did it
are
to
you gonna,
you?
Are you gonna tell it?
No. I had to do
Right,
anal.
you just had to
Are you
try
gonna
it.
tell that story?
No, I am not.
Oh my
I'm
god.
definitely never telling that story.
Ooh.
Wait, is it the?
I don't even want to
We're
know.
not saying
I
the
don't
story.
even want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay, we
Cut
got it.
that out.
I
Yeah, we
don't
get
wanna
it. It's all
know.
good. We get
But
it.
I was on a conquest to do anal, and I felt like,
Hey, we've all been there.
you know what I mean? And I felt like, but it wasn't because I wanted to do it. I felt like it was.
You just wanted to
it
say
was
that
the
you did.
most- It was the most I can get a girl to do that I felt was a proof that I controlled her or ran her or she would do
Ooh.
anything for me.
A
You know what I
mod.
mean? It was a dominating
Yeesh.
factor. It was
Yeah.
if I can make this girl do this, boom, I got her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I got it. Because we've had regular sex. Of course, she sucked my dick, all that shit, whatever. I don't care. I don't care about that. When you give me that butthole,
That's it. Yeah, it's
That's
over.
mine.
then I won.
You are
then I
mine.
really won the long
Yeah,
game. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? For some reason
This
in my
girl would do
mind,
When you
anything
give
for
me that
I get
butthole.
it. Yeah.
in my mind,
No, it's
that
true.
meant
I mean,
something
for
to
me, I wouldn't do it with anybody. That's for sure. It's only going to
it's
be
like-
somebody that you trust.
So, yeah,
exactly. So when you're in a
get girl-
relationship with somebody that you trust, then anything's open.
Yeah. Well, pretty much.
Well,
Not
you got-
anything.
No pun intended.
I wouldn't say anything. Everybody's
Actually,
got
pun
their
intended.
limits.
yeah, everybody does have their.
You know what?
limits.
This is something that I've. One of my friends told me about this, and I thought it was a really good idea. I think me and Matt goes without saying that we're pretty open with each other. We
I
exist
never
on
know
the
what she's
same
gonna say.
plane. No, we vibe well. I don't think there's anything that I want that I can't tell you and express to you that I want that you, and vice versa. And I think we've established, hey, if there's ever anything you want to try, just like bring it up. All right, cool. With that being
Good
said,
to know.
there are some people, I have lots of friends again who they feel still like a little awkward about it. And they're like, oh, there might be something I want to try, but how do you bring it up? And it might spice up your sex life, or it might show you what your partner wants that you've never thought about before. There's actually this quiz, and I wish I could remember what it's called. It's like this online quiz. And you take the quiz and you basically answer, yes, I would try this. I would talk about trying this, or I would never try it. And there's all these different things like, anal and like lots of different, like BDSM and this, that, and everything else. And you say
All the
yes,
kinks.
no, or maybe all the kinks.
Right.
And all it shows you is what you and your partner guessed or put the same answers on. It doesn't show you anything that they said no.
That's interesting.
It doesn't show you. It just says what you guys have the same. So that, like, if you put the same of like, yes, I would talk about it, then you guys can talk about it. But I thought that was really cool because it allows you to be open without showing your partner, yes, I said yes to like the grossest,
right,
weirdest
right.
thing ever. It won't show them that you said yes to that. So it's not something that would freak them out. But you know that your partner saw that same question and they said no. So you're like, okay,
Right,
I know
right,
now
right.
I can never bring that up. And
Yeah,
that's cool.
yeah.
Which
No,
I thought
that's
was
pretty
really
cool.
nice because it has, for a few of my friends, it's helped them a lot to be like, oh, wow, I never knew that you were open to
So
trying
here's
that.
the question.
But I think for a guy, for a guy, he should be able to take criticism. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
it comes back to guys
like
being
I
kind of
like I said before,
Should be.
men, including me, and I'm sure all of us,
Yeah.
we're not used to that though.
Yeah.
Men are not used to being told like, "Do you suck at this?"
It's the
Yeah, I
fragile
know.
Or they're not-
male
you know,
ego.
they're not
I
used to-
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
fragile male.
It's
it
so
is.
it's very fragile.
But
Yeah.
you know, you just got to grow some balls and fucking
Right.
do it.
It's-
And
Because
you
I
have to
remember,
know-
It's easier
I remember,
said than done.
I remember I asked him.
It
I'm not
is.
going to get detailed, but I remember I asked Amanda something. She's like, "It's getting better," and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's gonna hurt, but then you know you have to get over and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Like, if I'm gonna be the best, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do.
I've
what I
been
do.
like read some articles because
true.
I'm not going to read no fucking."
no, but I
articles."
mean when you look at girls, like have
They're
you ever seen
interesting,
a like
bro.
Yeah.
Or there's that old white-haired lady that
I
talks
used
about
to read
sex
articles
late
Yeah.
at
Like-
night.
oh no,
Yeah.
Dr. Laura Schlesinger.
I know.
Yes, I love her.
Is that
She's
her?
my girl,
She's
dude.
the
Yeah,
love
hell
doctor?
yeah.
I used to listen to her when I was young. I used to read the fucking articles. I
Yes.
used to want to be
I
good.
mean, look at
So
what
I-
girls are like exposed to. Like, we got Cosmopolitan out in the aisle at the grocery store, and it's like how to suck dick better and stuff like that. And it's like I was reading these articles at 14 years old, being like, oh, how can I be the best sexual partner possible? Guys, all they have the equivalent to what girls have is what guys have is porn, where it shows you if you fucking again slap the vagina like a fucking I don't know what the fuck that is, or if you just like lick it for 2 seconds, or you just are fucking a girl and she comes everywhere. And it's like, that's not realistic. And that's why so many guys are so bad at sex, is because porn tells you that guys are fucking gods.
Who slapped the vagina before?
But
I think all of you
Raise
probably
your
have.
I tried it
hands.
once.
Raise your hand.
I would not do it again. It's just
But
weird.
it was like
It's
a light,
jarring.
it was like a light tap.
jarring.
The tap tap tap.
It's just like a
It's
tap.
A
kinda
little
like-
Morse code.
Yeah.
like
It's like when you tap your phone display and it kind of wake it up.
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those.
Okay, so here's the thing: sex is obviously a huge deal in society. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so big of a deal in relationships, or is it? What do you
For some
place
people
it?
it is. For some people it isn't.
It's your
In I feel like
Brain,
it's
bro.
almost like the
Okay.
center of everything kind of thing.
it is.
In a
Well, I
weird
mean,
way.
well,
It
it's
could
like
affect
it's
a
like
lot of
it's like
different
everything
things.
that you guys kind of like go
Well-
through and all the shit you talk about and just like all the emotions that can kind of like.
I will say it's everybody's different. Like there
it's
are
very
people who
vulnerable.
are literally asexual. There's nothing wrong with that. They can go the rest of their life without ever having sex again.
I literally thought that's how I
Who?
was for like the
Who?
longest time.
There are people who are asexual.
No,
That's their
there's people out there that
sexuality,
can't, yeah.
and they are just not into it.
At what age? You can't-
Their whole life, like they might try it, but I've met people who are just
true.
like that, and they're like, I just could go the rest of my life without it. For me, it's kind of like, I don't know, people feel that way about veganism. They're like, you can never have cheese again, and I'm like, yeah,
same
and they're
thing.
like, I don't know how you could live like that. So I guess that's
do
how
they
I
masturbate?
no,
They just
no.
don't care about sex.
For
You
me,
know somebody like that?
No, I don't know, but I heard. about it,
right?
like-
And it's weird because for me, I feel like it's almost a health thing. It's kind of like the equivalent
yeah.
of like. It's like the equivalent
Self-care.
of it's self-care. Exactly. It really is. It's like I start to feel weird if I'm like, oh my God,
Irritable,
why do I feel weird?
fucking
And then I
crazy.
realize that I've been like dog sitting for like 4 or 5 days and I'm like, oh, that's why. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, or I'm in a bad mood and then I'm like, oh yeah.
Ready to punch somebody
That's why.
in the fucking
And I feel
face.
like I'm like, I feel better physically when things are really good. When it's been like 5 days in a row or something, I'm like feeling great. And that's like my own life. But I've realized that it's really so different. I have some friends who are just like that too. And then I have other friends who are like, you know, they could take it or leave it. Or I have other friends who are like, maybe,
See,
you know,
that's
it's
weird.
just
I always
really
thought
weird.
sex there was a chemical release.
There is, but everyone's chemical releases are different in their brain.
Exactly. It really is different.
Because
It's
I thought it was something that
crazy.
was. I mean, of course you could live without it, but you wouldn't want to.
Well, I've had some people, like one of my best friends, she recently got a divorce because she is kind of like me, where she feels like it's a part of her self-care. She really needs it. It's important for her life. And her husband literally told her that he could go the rest of his life without ever having it ever again.
Wow.
Yeah. And they got a divorce over that. Like she was like, I can't be, if this is going to be the rest of my life. I think he maybe had like low testosterone or something, but he wasn't really willing to go to the doctor.
Now, the funny,
And-
what if
that should
what
have
if
been
she?
talked about before.
What,
Yeah.
It should have been
Well,
talked about
it-
before.
like,
but what
it-
if he gets in another relationship and he's like beating the brakes off of this other girl?
I know. It's like weird. It's
What is
weird.
Getting the
There's-
brakes off.
Beating
never
the
beat the
brakes.
brakes
Then
off.
that
of
Never
relationship- that
heard
was-
that before.
Well, then they had a bad
I
relationship.
feel like there's a phenomenon too where when you first get into a relationship, you are like fucking like rabbits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh, no.
then
I know
it
this
like
cycle.
seems for other like it seems to like
Dang.
to like have a slow decline for a lot of people that I know.
That's where you gotta spice it up.
It's
a
like, oh
little
yeah,
bit.
at first we
'Cause
did it
you're-
as, you
try that
know,
anal.
a couple times a week.
Yeah.
And now we like do it once a month.
You
And I'm
gotta
like,
get-
what?
It's definitely it has to do with age. The older you get, the more things going on in your life. You have to purposely pay attention to your sex life
Yeah.
in order to keep it at a level
Yeah.
where
Do you
each
think-
where
It's
both
you got to
partners
work
are
at it
happy.
for sure.
What about? I have a theory. What if you have to like? It's almost like you have to have like a personal checkup with like the person you're with. You have to kind of like. It's like you have to re-up, like, hey, you know, because there's some times where haven't had lately, but there are times where I feel like we just kind of seem a little out of it. You know, there's just like a lot in our head.
You
Oh, like
get
when
off
we're
on the
like
same
really
page.
busy or
Yeah,
something.
so like it's like
and I'm just
it's
like,
it's like if it's been a while or
am
you feel like
too
it's just
tired.
not good, maybe. Not saying that's the thing, but like it's like you need to like check up and say like, you know, what's going on?
That's why you got to always keep the lines of communication open because
I feel like that's why a lot of people
spells
slip
will
up
come.
with it. They just don't bring it up.
Those
Right.
spells will come. Me being married for ever. Nah, I love my wife.
It's a beautiful
But me being
thing.
married forever, there's all ups and downs are real as hell.
Yeah.
Like, there's
Yeah.
a down
Yeah,
period.
for sure.
And then sometimes it's not at the same time when
Yeah.
somebody's ups and somebody's down. And then when you're both down, it's really
Totally.
shitty.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then when you're
yeah,
both
yeah.
up, it's great. So you have to
But it also
communicate.
sucks when one's down and the other's up because
Yeah.
it's like you can never like another thing that is really sad for me is like a lot of my girlfriends will be like, oh yeah, sometimes I don't want it, but my husband or my boyfriend is like so like hounds me and pressures me and like makes me feel like shit for not doing it. So I just have to lay there and take it. And I'm like, that horrifies me because first of all, I get how
Isn't
guys
that
are.
basically rape?
Well, it's like they don't rape you, but they make you feel like they need it, and then you're finally like, I
Almost
just
like
want to shut
it's
them
almost
up.
like a mental.
They're
I just wanna
doing it
shut
out-
them up.
You're doing it out of obligation, out of the idea.
think it's
You
just
should
to shut 'em up,
never
right?
do that. Yeah, and you should never do that. Like,
Okay,
and
but hold on. I get what you're saying, and I agree that you should never be in a situation where you have to sit there and lay and let the
Yeah,
man
that
have sex with you.
sucks.
I don't think that's how it should
I would
go.
How
just
does
tell
a
the dude to
guy
go
like
jack
But
do
at
off.
the
that?
same time,
Just get it
at
out of
the
your
same-
Jack off.
Think
but
about
at-
it after 2
hold on,
minutes.
but at the
you'll be
same
good.
time, is this a false statement to say that a woman's obligation to her marriage is to satisfy her husband the same way a man's obligation to his marriage is to
There-
satisfy his
got a
wife?
point, yeah.
I don't think any human being has an obligation to satisfy another human being. That's why we are able to masturbate.
Well, that
I
would
do,
be my
however,
second
think
point.
I think I've met some women.
What?
I have met. Oh yeah, no. Why would? Okay, so what that says is that it's your obligation. Whether if you're not in the mood, if you don't want it, it is your moral obligation to do it anyway. Which to me is fucking weird, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the part I don't agree with. I don't
Right,
think you
right,
have to
right.
do it when you're not in the mood, but don't confuse that
Here
with
it
that
is.
not
Yes,
being a
I
part of
agree.
your agreement in getting
There is
married to take care of
definitely-
each other's sexual desires
Yes.
because that's a part of the relationship
There
and
is a
human
such a
beings
thing
in general. And you don't want me to
as-
cheat on you, do you?
No, yeah.
know.
And there's such a thing as intimacy deprivation, where like your partner needs intimacy. And I know other women who will go months and months and months without having sex. And they'll just say that they don't want it. They don't want it. And at some point, I do believe you need to go to the doctor and talk to your doctor about why you have zero sex drive, because
Right.
there's got to be something going on. There could be underlying. You could have low vitamins. You could have your birth control's fucking you up. Something could be wrong, and that is something that it does become your responsibility if your partner is feeling like they are being neglected intimately.
And that's what it starts
Because
to feel like.
it totally,
for a
I
dude.
totally agree. I think I would definitely, if Matt was just like not in the mood, I would never expect him to just do it anyway. It's a lot harder for guys to just do it anyway. But I would also be like, at some point I'd be like, can you go get your testosterone checked or something? Because this is not going to work. Like, I love you,
Well,
but
right. That's what
this
the
isn't gonna
obligation.
work.
I think obligation, responsibility,
Yeah.
agreement in this marriage for Matt at that point would be to find out what's going on. to
it's
figure
your
out,
job to find out what's going on
because
at that point.
you're not holding up your bargain or you're part of this union. Like,
That's why a lot of people cheat, like when they're way into the marriage.
Not holding it up.
you're not holding up, literally.
And
this part of your union.
I know of other women. None of my friends are this toxic, but there are some women out there who won't allow their partners to watch porn or to masturbate.
That's okay.
That's weird.
It is
You
a
are
little
like
weird.
that? Are you like that?
No, are
You
you?
won't let your partner masturbate?
No. I'm on.
To me-
no, I'm on the other end
Oh.
of that situation. So,
Well,
not really.
I
No,
just
we
feel
got
like
through it.
there
but it
are
was a
some
problem.
people who are like, I want to be the only source of your ecstasy, and it's
Yeah.
like that
But
is
then you got to
toxic.
provide it.
That's yeah. Well, A, you have to
Right.
provide it, but B, why do you feel like you can't let your partner have it's not like they're cheating on you. They're just,
exactly.
It's a
Well,
physiological
it comes
thing.
to a point, though. You know, people can.
I agree.
You can get addicted to it.
I don't.
But like, if it's just
yeah.
a quick thing to get out of your head, because after
Yes.
2 minutes, you're not even going to remember it happening.
I totally agree.
Just
There
to
is
clear your
there is
brain.
such thing as too much porn.
But yeah, if you're looking at it because you're getting something to that you can't
Totally
get with
agree.
your person, then yeah, that's
Totally
a problem.
agree.
But if you just need that quick, like,
Yes.
oh man, I got a lot in my head, boom, and you're okay,
okay,
then hey, that's
I
fine.
totally agree. Like if I'm in the other room, don't fucking watch porn because that's just gross and weird.
So
but
that's
if
the
I'm
thing.
dog sitting or if I'm in fucking Peru for 3 months, I'm not gonna get mad if you fucking watch porn.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like porn is weird. It's
How you
kind of
said Peru for
problematic.
3 months.
In what?
That's just funny.
I don't know.
You gave like a real
that's
life
something
thing.
that I would do, you know. And so
Well,
I
that's the
have to
thing.
be realistic with myself and say, like, if I'm not going to be around, why would I think in my head that he's just going to be chaste until I
think-
return? Like,
I don't know if
Bingo.
women who have a problem with that are coming
They're
from
self-conscious.
I want to be the only source of your
It's
ecstasy. I
hard.
think it comes from when the
Insecure.
porn and masturbation interferes with the intimacy between them two.
absolutely. And what you
That's
might
exactly
expect.
it. Yeah, like I was
so
saying.
if you
I
get used
agree.
to it,
Yeah,
you
if
might not
it-
even be addicted,
it-
but you're used to taking care of yourself. And then when they
Yes.
come around, you're not as hard up for it, pun intended.
Wow,
As-
all the puns today, guys.
I know it's driving me
You're
nuts.
not as hard up for
Ah!
that.
Yeah.
You're not as hard up for it as you normally
No,
would
I
be, and you don't
agree.
approach that person the same way, and they can feel that decline in
Yeah.
aggression.
Yes.
And then they have a problem.
Absolutely. And I totally agree. I think I came out the wrong way just because I've never experienced a man who might have had an actual porn addiction. But I've actually, going back on that, I think it's important to have that balance. Like, yes, you got to be realistic and know that, like, if you're not going to be around, your partner might masturbate, they might watch porn here or there. But there's definitely such a thing as too much. And then it comes down to, again, all this negative shit that men are getting from porn that teaches them these wrong things.
Well, the thing is, like,
I'm sorry, Dumpling's sitting there like, there's nothing wrong. There's no such thing as too much porn.
well, if you're single, there's probably no
His
such
face
thing.
is like,
Hold
what are you
on,
talking
yeah.
about? There's no-
Addiction,
what are you
like-
talking about? Too much porn.
How much is too much?
There are
sense.
some people, if you've watched some of those documentaries, that are literally fucking addicted to porn, and
Yeah.
they
Like
go
you look
off
at it
the
at
rails
work
Well, how
all
much
the
is too
time.
much?
all the time, like
I
at
mean,
like,
work.
yeah, they get up and immediately that's the
They
first
like
thing
If
they
your
spend
dick
lots
is
of
sore
money
from
on
beating
it.
your dick, it's
Oh, they got
probably
that
too much.
burn.
It's probably too
Oh.
much if
Yeah.
your meat's sore.
Well, what is the max you can do a day? Like,
That's he needs to know the
He's like,
threshold.
oh,
He's
shit,
like,
he's
please
sweating.
tell me what is the threshold.
He's like, I just gotta know. Is this a medical thing?
Me honestly, I don't know, but I would say if you're masturbating more than once a day, might
Maybe
be too
just
much.
lay off a little bit. Yeah.
If you're doing it more, it's probably too much. If you're single once a day, I get it.
yeah.
If you're doing it like 4 times a day,
Oh my god,
Wild.
you're single.
that's scary.
That
hurts. bro.
That's
why
crazy.
do you have that much time?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying
I
to
think
figure
that's
out. How do you
addiction.
schedule that
Like,
many?
go on a run. Go
Right.
read a book.
Use your
Well,
energy.
actually, I feel like it also has to do with a
Call your mom. Come on.
not boredom, but it's like
It's a compulsion.
Yeah.
And it also is it's a
I was
release
actually-
of endorphins.
I was listening to a podcast, and one of the guys was talking about it, and he said how he was addicted to it. It was like a comedian, and he was saying like it got to that point where it's just something he did.
yeah.
You know, he's like,
Like
oh shit, I
eating
gotta go
or-
Yeah.
masturbate
It's
and look at porn.
compulsion.
Do
That's
you
just
know
something
what
to do.
happens in a man's brain when he decides to masturbate?
Oh geez.
Oh yeah, no, you got to do it. And if you don't, like, nothing's gonna stop you. Basically, like
I don't know. This is just for me. I'm
gonna piss
I'm
you
gonna
off if-
describe to you what happens in my brain.
Oh god, I gotta
Once I've made up my mind to masturbate. Okay, first it's I don't know. An opportunity presents itself. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and the thought flutters through your brain. I could probably masturbate right now. That's how it starts, and then it goes from that to
I gotta do this.
no, I can masturbate. You've confirmed that this is the perfect moment to take advantage of, and once you've confirmed it, the juices, the
Yeah.
adrenaline starts to run faster, and there's like nothing to stop you from getting to
That's
what
so
you need,
funny. Yeah.
and the resources, the
Oh my
the
God.
environment that you
Yeah.
need in order to masturbate. Like the adrenaline rush in brain, you
Yeah.
start breathing faster.
You gotta do it.
And you're getting to, you need to get to either your phone. Act like people don't watch porn on their phones. You're trying to get to your phone, get to your spot, wherever the hell that
my
is,
God.
and find the video you want to watch and get to town. And from the moment you've confirmed this is the time you're going to do it, the adrenaline,
You
the
walk through
the heartbeat,
fire.
all that, you're going to
Yeah.
get it. If
It's-
somebody calls you, you're like,
fuck that. It doesn't matter if it's like
You're pissed off.
Like the
You're
police.
angry.
Yeah, you're like, what?
What do you want? Get away from me. Stop knocking on my door.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so.
you're not picking up phone calls. Like,
That is
it's,
so funny. It's kind of like when you have to pee really bad and you're in the car, and as soon as you get to your house, you feel like you're gonna pee your pants because you know the bathroom's right there.
Exact
so you're
same
like,
thing.
I can't hold it any longer.
Exact
But you
same
could
thing.
hold it if you had a mile
if you had
more to go
5
in the
more
car.
miles to go, you would have held
Yeah,
it.
but as soon as you get in the house, you're like, I'm gonna pee my pants.
Right.
It's coming.
That's exactly how it's like when a man makes up his mind to masturbate.
I know.
Now,
All right, I got
Has to
a
happen.
Good
potentially
analogy.
potentially personal question. In your adult life, what's the longest you've gone between?
Between masturbation?
Yeah.
Or like just
Months.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I mean like
Just, like,
no,
getting
no, no,
off.
no, no, no. Yeah.
getting
I'm
off.
sorry. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, yeah. I mean,
You mean the longest between...
nuts.
Oh, shit. I could probably say month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, when you touched it, it must have. Holy shit!
So
You
funny.
Everybody
thought
said
about it.
Like, it was time, like, because like I'm telling you, there's ups and downs in marriages. I'll say that right now. Sometimes you're just not on the same page, and a lot of things are going on. So we wasn't having sex. And normally, I would supplement myself and take care of my own business. But for some reason, I was actually doing other things and
You're
didn't
just
want to spend
busy.
my time that way.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that either. And it was like, wow, I'm not doing anything. Like,
That's so.
Because apparently
funny.
there's like this
Shit.
thing that guys do where they don't for like a month to like mentally, and apparently like once you break that 30-day hump, it's like this weird like revolutionary mind thing.
I have always thought it was so fascinating. It's fun to be like.
but I don't know.
I
if
didn't get
it's-
the revolutionary mind.
You just
thing.
got mad.
I would.
Yeah, I just got angry and short tempered. And I was like,
the
yo,
whole-
It's for me as like a cisgender person who gets to be in a close relationship with somebody of the opposite gender and sex as me. I think it's always interesting and fascinating. Just the little things that I learn about guys and how different they are. Like I remember this one time. This is kind of like a
Jesus.
weird story, but I was dog sitting and I had been dog sitting this dog for like 2 weeks. So I had been staying with this dog and I think we had not seen each other a lot. And so he came over and we like, did it. But then he was laughing and he told me, because it was like a good sesh, it might have been like a half hour or so.
Longer?
And I remember he told me before he came over, he had to like jerk off in the shower to make sure that he didn't like come right immediately.
That's not that. That's
Like-
not that weird.
No,
I
that's
don't know,
not
but
weird
I
at
just,
all.
for me as a girl, I thought that was funny because I was like, that's so funny that you guys have like this weird mechanics. Like,
What is it? You don't want to like.
You got to take
Go
care of
in with
yourself
lo-
first. Yeah,
loaded gun, or what is it?
exactly.
What is
Yeah.
it?
You don't walk around
no,
with
it's
a loaded
funny.
gun.
Yeah.
It's fucked up how like just how that is.
I just learned the other day
because
too.
like if say we if it's been like when you leave or you
Right,
do whatever.
Yeah.
I have to usually do that almost every time, or else if you do it, it's like
Yeah.
game over.
That's funny to me. And then you told me like a lot of guys do it like before they
Dude,
go on
it's
a
literally
date
like
or
if you don't-
something.
Yeah.
That's funny to me. And I just found out the other day, this is crazy. I don't remember
Man.
how we got to talking
Considering I
about
know who listens to this, we're saying a lot of shit.
Hey, they chose to listen, and we appreciate every
Well,
single
maybe
one
we
of
can
you
put this
guys,
one
by
as
the
like
way.
not safe for work or whatever.
Oh yeah, this
No,
is
they all
definitely gonna
are.
have some triple
No,
X. in
this
the-
one's really funny.
in the title.
I learned that guys can come even if nobody's touching your dick.
I don't think that's real.
No, you said that like you get to that point.
No, the point of no return. Not it's like
Oh,
there's like that.
Not the whole time. No,
yeah,
it's just like,
there's like that.
no, you don't have
that,
to
like,
be
that
doing
10
it.
seconds where it's fucking.
Oh no, yeah, you
happening.
can't come back. You can't.
Like if you
can't
take
pull
your
it back.
hands,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Like if you take your hands off it, like you don't have
It's
to be
too late.
touch it as
you
it's
just
coming.
ruined it.
That's a ruin. That's what I was saying. You
Yeah.
just ruined it.
Like because if for like a girl,
That's how you get blue balls.
Is there a way to ruin a nut for a girl?
yes, if you stop fucking going. Like if
Okay,
you
okay.
stop. If you stop,
Same
We talked
principles.
about this.
Yeah.
if a girl says,
Actually, we
you know,
really talked about this.
that they're about to, and then you stop,
No, I'm saying
Then
okay,
it's not gonna
okay,
happen.
But what if
at
you
least
start?
for me,
What if you start going and then he stops?
if you start coming,
Yeah.
I think it would make it not as good if you
Also-
stop. But it's so weird. Girls are so weird. But if you keep going after it's over, it like hurts. It's like too sensitive. Like it's weird.
I hate that.
You have to
so
stop for a second. It's
If
weird.
if you do that to a dude where it started and then you stop, it's completely ruined.
Wait,
Like,
really?
everything we just did was
Okay, so
wasted.
I was under
Or
the impression.
Angry.
or if they're doing something and then they just do something weird for like a second,
Yeah.
and you're like, dude, you get so many. You're like, what the fuck was
right.
that?
You-
No, yeah, you gotta just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep
Well,
doing what you're doing.
Yeah, and also
Don't
too,
stop
a lot of
anything.
I think I don't know. I think I read it somewhere, and you agreed with it. When a girl's like, "Hey, I'm about to, whatever," and the dude goes like 400 miles an hour.
Oh yeah,
It's
don't
like,
do
no,
that.
just do
keep
exactly
doing
what-
exactly
yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Just
something
don't-
you learn
I know
over
I've been
time.
guilty
Yes.
of that.
You
a
learn that,
plenty.
like, you know what? I don't have to
Why would you
jackrabbit.
change it up when
Yeah.
you're like,
Consistency is
yeah,
a key
exactly.
for
Right.
women.
Why would you change
Yes,
it up when she's
it's just
about to?
consistency.
Dudes, it is a gradual growth.
Right. It's like you don't want to start too
keep-
fast,
just
but
pumping
then
Yeah.
Actually, they're.
It's
my
like a
voice
nice,
cracked. I think
even-
dudes are the opposite.
Yeah, like women
I
need
just realized that.
consistency. Where a man, you got
It's like a balloon when you fill it with too much air.
well, it's a
pops.
what do you call it? It's amping up. Every
yes,
level.
yeah,
Amp
you got to
up,
build
amp
it up.
amp
It's like a
Yeah.
roller coaster.
You know what's so weird? How like sensitive it is, like in terms of like it could, everything could be perfect, but you could have like a weird one of your toes could be off, like bent weird, and you're like, I can't do
Bro.
it. Like, yeah, hold on, and you just gotta.
You
fix,
know how many
or
times I
your
thought I was
arms-
gonna die having
know-
sex?
you know what I
Like, as far as not die, but like get a cramp in a weird body
Oh
part.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
God,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
cramps
And
are
I'm
the
like,
worst.
like if you get a cramp in your toe, why am I getting a cramp in my toe right now? Like,
it's over.
I hate that. It
It's so
ruins
weird.
everything. I gotta move and
Your
change
whole
something,
leg.
and I'm like, yo, am I dying? And
You know what else is amazing is when you exert yourself in a way that you never would if you weren't like in that like phase. Like I just there's some of the things that I can do. And then if I tried to do them when I wasn't like sexually charged, I would be
Right.
like, oh, this is so hard. Like
Yeah,
this is such an
yep.
exertion. But
Or-
then
Yeah.
like I'll be like really sore the next day. Like I did 1,000 squats and I'll be like, why am I so fucking sore?
Right.
And then I'll be like, I
Ah,
did do
yeah,
1,000 squats.
yeah,
Hey!
yeah.
But I just didn't do them in the gym. It's just
He was waiting for that. Did you see that? He was waiting for that one.
Hey,
It's so funny.
Okay, that's what's up, man.
Yeah, it's just sex is weird. Humans are
or
weird.
a lot of times I'll be in the car and I'm like, did I really say that?
yeah, I did.
Oh
You
my
did.
god,
You
the
did.
funniest
Man, I just
fucking
broke
thing.
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all
We can
good.
cut that out. Okay. Well, what I was gonna say, it's so funny when you like. Me and Matt do this all the time. We come down and we're like
Wait.
cringing.
Okay.
No, we're just like
I never know,
cringing.
dude.
We're just like, oh my god, that's so funny. Like just some of the stuff, and I'm like, don't even say it back to me. Don't even fucking. I don't even want to know what I said.
Okay, so what's the weirdest thing you said to a girl
Well,
or said to a
wait, I don't
guy
want it.
during
Okay.
sex?
there's just some, things that I think
I'm
we
like,
wouldn't call each other normally.
Hold on, ladies
I'm
and gentlemen.
scared. I'm
We
so
had a
scared.
whole podcast planned, but this sex thing is just going to keep
It's
going.
so funny though. It's funny.
We're gonna get to the dark corner.
It's funny
but
to, like,
everything
talk-
else is pretty much out the door. We're just gonna talk sex. So, what's the craziest thing you ever said to a girl while having sex? Or
Well,
dude?
I mean, I'm just gonna keep it brief for both. I think we just said some like not like mean things,
Terms
but
of endearment.
yeah, just like
Like the things that you call me that if you called me that in a fight, I would be really
yeah,
upset.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, use your imagination.
Yeah,
Or the
I
things
got
that
you
there's
can let
just-
a bitch fly during
Yeah.
sex.
Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
you know what?
You can
can
let
let
a
a bitch is
fly.
nothing.
Yeah.
This girl wanted me to call her
Yeah.
a slut, and I was like, I felt so uncomfortable calling her a slut.
Right?
Like, I can't do that.
Yeah, no.
I think at
What?
first you were like, I'm sorry. And I was like, don't
Yeah,
be
I was
sorry.
like, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Because I'm like the kind of person where I'm like, let
I was
her,
like,
let me have
no.
it. I know.
Well, what
Yeah.
you gonna say? Don't.
Have you had this conversation? It's like, what do you guys prefer hearing, like cock, dick, or penis? Or
Oh my God,
whatever?
that's so funny.
There's different.
Why would anybody say penis?
Which one do you want?
Yeah,
Penis.
what would you
You
want to
talking
hear?
about during sex?
Yeah.
Penis?
Definitely not penis. Put your penis in me.
Too technical.
It's so
Oh, your
small.
penis.
It sounds inadequate.
I love your penis. Like, it's just
Oh,
stop.
I
Just
think
stop.
the
This is like
conversation is
a.
between dick and cock, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I have a preference.
I think I don't even remember what I say because it's just I
I
go
don't
into I'm like a
remember.
different person. It's like a werewolf.
I
I don't even know who I am.
don't have. You got a preference?
No, I was just wondering. Like,
don't know.
people,
You
what
got
was I gonna? I was gonna say
I
this
heard
one
people
thing.
talk about that. I was like, what would you prefer, dick or cock?
There's one word that
Or
I
like another
fucking
word.
hate
I don't know what. There's other words.
Gotta call it the pickle.
that Matt knows that I fucking hate this.
What?
And if anybody were to ever say it to me,
Moist.
it's the word that your doctor might use to describe this area on a woman.
Oh,
your
breast?
chest. Oh, I fucking hate
Breast?
that
like
word.
chicken breast?
I fucking hate that word. It just makes me uncomfortable.
What about bust?
There's no good way to describe it for me. There's really no good way.
Tits?
Like titties?
I think that's the most acceptable in the moment. Like, not. I don't want my doctor to be like, let's do a tit exam. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab your
But, like,
titties.
I hate the word.
breastises.
I can't even say it.
Breasticles?
Like, if somebody said it in a sexual situation, I would be like, ah,
Really?
Oh, let me
That's
touch your
weird.
breast.
breast.
I don't understand why.
That's just. I think that's just me.
Is
I
that
think
the
it's just
scientific
me.
term. for
I hate it. I
boobies?
think it's weird. It reminds me of like.
I call them boobs. So.
Yeah,
Teats?
boobs
Titties
is
and
fine.
boobs,
Boobs, I
tits.
think, is like the funny way to say it, but I guess I don't know.
Bags
it's hard.
of sand.
Let's just start calling them udders.
Just don't call them anything.
Udders.
I mean,
How about
technically
that?
they are udders. Yeah.
How about just say
I'm gonna grab
these?
your udders.
These.
That's
Just call them
disgusting.
these.
That's a
Those.
cow.
I'm gonna grab them.
Yeah.
These are nice.
That's a mammalian trait. A fucking teat that dispenses
Ew, ew,
milk.
ew, ew,
Yeah.
ew, ew. That's bad too.
A teat? A teat?
Dude, that's
Holy shit.
gross.
So
I mean, if you think about sex like scientifically, it's gross.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking weird.
What is the scientific?
There's a lot of different things. Like there's lots of words for the lady parts that are very. I can't even fucking say them half the time.
You know what? Okay, you know what Joey Diaz calls it? He calls it a monkey.
What?
He's like, yeah, when I was looking on a monkey.
yeah,
Wait,
a lot of people
what
call
is-
it a monkey.
What? The,
What?
the penis?
No,
The
the vagina.
doesn't even look.
Really?
I don't know,
Hey,
but
you
it's
look at-
fucking hilarious
if
every
you-
time he says,
if
I was,
you look
I was
at a-
looking on a monkey.
If you look at a girl,
wow.
it's a fat monkey.
Wait, what?
Oh my
You wonder
God.
if the
I've
girl
never
has
heard
a
this.
fat monkey. You see,
What is a
God
fat
damn it.
one?
Like,
What
is a fat one?
I've never
What
heard-
is a fat
How do we
monkey?
describe it?
I want to give you an
See, I'm
answer.
learning
I don't
every
know
day.
my
You know
shit.
those ballpark franks? They plump when you go.
What? What?
I was gonna
No.
go like a banh mi, right?
Yeah.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Come on,
What's a
man.
bond me?
It's a sandwich.
It's
Hey,
sandwich.
everybody
Which takes you to
looks
meat
different
curtains.
down there.
Meat curtains.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
I think they're all beautiful in their own way.
like pussy.
I've seen.
Vaginal
That's
opening.
the best way I think when you're in the moment
I
to
think in the
describe
best.
it.
I like saying pussy.
I don't like it in real life though.
The way you
You
said,
should
I
stop.
like saying pussy.
I hate it. It's so funny the things that you hate in real life, but in the moment
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
hate them. It's so funny. Oh my
Grab
god,
that puss.
this is hilarious.
Oh my god, dude.
So weird.
That's, listen.
It's funny to be
people
able
are
to talk to.
disgusting.
Yeah, humans are so. I think that every time I'm done, I'm like, I am a degenerate.
But that's why I think. That's why this whole thing about the people who don't want to have sex is like new to me. I never really heard of it. I thought everybody.
Oh, the asexual people. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I thought everybody's
Yeah.
life
No,
revolved
there's people
around
that are
sex
like
in
that.
some sort
Right.
of way.
That's
You
why
know
it's
what I mean?
important. Yeah, you got to find somebody you're compatible with.
Yeah.
It's like you got to find somebody who vibes the same way, who likes the same kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You know, I think
Especially sexually.
if you have a kink and you're never gonna find somebody who likes the same kink as you, you might
so
it
many
might not
weird-
work out.
Yo, what's that show? Billions. Everybody watch Billions?
No, what is that?
It's just a show about people with fucking money. Dude that owns a hedge
Yeah.
fund and all that shit, but there's senators and shit involved. So this
Oh,
dude,
wow.
he became senator, right? And he got recorded because he has a special kink him and his wife kind of do. She dominates him.
Oh wow,
and,
good,
and
go
like
girl.
does pain on him and stuff like that.
Damn.
They had a professional dominatrix they would go see together.
That's kind
Right.
of cool.
Wow.
Which was cool,
Wait, what
right?
did she?
Yeah.
Did she hurt her too?
No, they both would be on him.
Wow.
Because it's his kink. She's only doing it to, you know,
Please him?
to
Oh.
please him.
See, I don't think I could be that.
So he
Girl.
got elected senator, and
Wait, what?
a video leaked.
Of him just getting his ass
So
kicked.
she was, of course, thoroughly embarrassed by the whole
Oh,
situation,
man.
and she wanted him to step down from the race of being elected
Mm-hmm.
because
That's-
everybody's going to be on
That's a
him. and
kink
stuff like
shame
that.
right there. No.
Yeah, don't kink shame
That's what
him.
he was like, you know what? I got to face it head on. So he went out and he
That's
told
fucked up,
everybody.
though. That's
But it
privacy.
put his wife on blast. Like
That's fucked
everybody's
up.
on her, looking at
Why?
her crazy. Because she was a part of she actually worked for the dude.
But
Anybody
he's
who
the
watched
one
Billions know.
asking to get it
Yeah.
done. So it
But
should
she's
be
the
on
one
him.
doing it.
So
Because she loves him.
Her and another
See, I don't
chick,
love Matt
right.
enough. If he wanted me to do that, that's not me.
I don't know.
I could
just-
never be that girl.
To have that type of information out about your relationship is
Oh,
kinda
no, that's-
hard
that's
to deal
fucked
with,
up,
especially if you're in
yeah.
a public eye. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't
Wait,
do it.
did you say you don't love men enough?
Well, I don't love you enough to be like a dominatrix. I just cannot
out
bring
all-
Well,
Oh,
it's
myself
not that
to
you
do
don't.
it.
It's just not you.
It's not
You
me.
could even try.
All he heard
couldn't
was,
even- I would
probably
be
just-
like-
you probably just laugh about
I'd be
it.
like,
like, wait.
sit down.
all you heard was you don't love him enough. He's like,
Yeah, I was like, wait,
"What
what?
the fuck
I
I was
is
like
that?"
dozed off there. That's fine.
Wouldn't want that.
Man, all right. What else can we talk about sex? We're already here.
That's
We're here.
So
We went
funny.
really
We're
all
here.
in.
And did we even resolve the issue? Women
No.
are liars.
I think at the
and
end-
you
no,
can't
I think
never
at the
know.
I
end
think
of the
that's the
day-
answer. Women are fucking liars. Fuck
Like
them all.
you
I'm
could
just
drive
kidding.
yourself crazy for
It
the
just-
rest of
it
your
just
life.
depends on the person, really.
Yeah.
It depends on the relationship.
You could drive yourself
Yeah.
crazy for the rest of your life thinking that your partner's lying. If you have no
Exactly.
reason to
That's what
believe
we're
that they're
talking
not
about.
lying, just trust them.
Yeah.
Just trust them. Because what is it going to hurt you or what is it going to benefit you to know the truth
Maybe-
that maybe you aren't the
Maybe
best?
you can.
What is that going to change in your
approach it
life?
differently, being like, hey, is there something, because I feel like approaching people with things that you would be having a hard time approaching them with, be like, hey, I know this is hard to bring up, but is there anything that we can fix or I can fix,
Anything I could work
Maybe
on?
not
and
say
think
like,
I'd be
hey,
better?
am I the best you've been with? Because that's a fucked up answer.
Yeah.
But just be like, hey,
Just be like, are you
I know we've been
happy?
together for a while, and it's been pretty good. But is there anything that we can maybe change? Because I know it's
better.
hard to bring up. And if she says, you know what, I've been thinking about it too, this, and you do it, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
You don't even need to know.
It's fun. I think it really puts a lot of like perspective into a relationship when like for I like going back to that little survey thing. Just taking that survey, I think like it would like
I want you to find that
energize
survey, 'cause that's a pretty
people
cool survey.
About it, and they'd be like, "Oh, I didn't know that you
Asking
would
for a
ever
friend.
try that. Maybe
Yeah,
we should
for
try
sure.
that, or like maybe we should buy this
I got
new
a cousin.
thing." For some girls, like for me, I feel like whenever I'm feeling weird, sometimes I'll like buy something like that would make me feel confident to wear, and then I'll be like excited, and I'll be like, "Oh, this is gonna be fun," and I might look not like a
I
potato.
still want
So,
everybody-
I thought about like the shirt, that shirt again.
oh, what
Remember,
shirt?
Remember when you had that one shirt that was I hated?
Oh my god, yeah, and you were like, "Are you gonna wear that?" I was like, "Thanks."
Confidence
Like, sorry,
shattered.
I'll go put on a fucking
I
corset.
still
What do you want me to
everybody
wear?
ask their exes or their exes or whatever to describe sex with their exes or rate it and try to find out if they tell you 90 to 95% of the people they were with were bad. I don't know. I just think that's an odd thing to do.
Do you really want to start that conversation with an ex?
I'm not.
What if your wife was like, it was awesome, it was better than you? What would you say? Like, what would you be like mad? Would you be mad? Wouldn't you
Well,
be
no,
like,
if
shut
you,
the
no,
fuck
no,
up?
I'm not
You
giving
asked the
anybody the right
question,
to
I
be
guess.
mad. Don't be fucking mad if you're not the
Yeah.
best. That's when you finna figure out.
Be
what
like,
you need to
well,
do to
what did
be
he
better.
do that I didn't?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what did he do
Yeah.
that you didn't? And if she says his dick was bigger, then
That's-
get a new girlfriend. So.
Yeah, because it doesn't. That's not everything.
But
and
no, I'm just like I asking those questions just to find out. I don't know. I've been through this already. I'm done with it. I've
good,
dealt
yeah.
with it.
And you're like at peace.
I'm cool. Like, and I came out on top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I choose to believe,
No pun intended.
the pun king, yes. So I don't have a problem with it all. I find it curious.
Yeah.
And because I think in the larger population, the percentage of women who say they had their exes were bad when their current is asking them, it's very high.
I think, but I
What
remember.
if you broke up and then your friend was like with her for some weird reason, and she's like, "Hey, dude, she said you were terrible."
Of course she is. But when we were together, she said I was the best
Yeah,
ever,
that was
right?
Yeah.
you like,
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing that kind of
Is he really your friend if he got with your ex?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I know.
I
and you guys
wouldn't
are
be talking
talking
to that
about
dude.
it.
Really
That's
your
kinda
friend if
weird.
he tells you
I
that?
would never see him
Like
ever.
the bro code. What is that?
I,
No, that's against the bro code.
Also,
man.
I
You
do
can't sleep with your
implore.
friend's ex.
Unless you ask them.
Unless
and
you
they're
Well,
ask
cool
yeah,
with
them,
it.
it depends on the situation. It really does. Because I know some people who they are dating people who I don't know. It's a whole thing.
I have a
But
whole
yeah, oh man,
not
Yeah.
me. I've never dated
Oh.
anybody's ex, but
No,
I have
no.
people who dated my ex.
I have definitely had
No,
friends.
no,
More
I'm
than
in that-
one.
Yeah, I'm in that situation
More than
too,
two.
and it's not.
Same ex.
I think basically what I also want to implore men to think about is that truly in this society, this is the sad truth. Most women
Are
have
unfulfilled.
most of their sexual encounters have been fucking disappointing, and most of us have faked an orgasm in our life many times.
Fucking
Most,
sucks.
I would say about 90% And
That's
if they say they have never faked it, I would think that they were lying because it's just kind of. It's really hard again for girls to get off if they don't know what gets them off and they're not open with telling a guy. And the sad truth is when you're hooking up with a guy a one night stand, a girl doesn't have like the time. A lot of girls don't have the confidence or the time to be like, okay, you do this, go this way, do this, do that. This is what I like. This is what gets me off. So they just want it to be over. They just want to fake it.
One night stands are for dudes.
Yeah, it's
like-
well. I would also. I
mean-
mean, there's girls who like it
Yeah.
even if they don't get off, or there's girls who want to. Yeah, I think girls would enjoy them too, but I do think that it's harder for women on average to get a completely fulfilling, mind-blowing sex.
Is foreplay
Experience.
dead?
Well, it's because
does
they're so
suck.
different than
Yeah.
foreplay.
Oh, bro.
Foreplay, yeah.
If you lined up like
Foreplay, dude.
Foreplay is dead in a lot of people's relationships, and that's the problem.
Well, foreplay also for a lot of guys is just blow me and then we're gonna have sex.
Right.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad.
Foreplay
There's
is
lots of
is
Fun, weird parts of your body.
It
Yeah.
is.
It really is.
If you take your time and you're interested in the other person's happiness, or
Yeah.
just in general of making sex an event as opposed to just some quick thing that happens,
Right.
then yeah, you get into the foreplay, and
Yeah.
it
yeah, I guess
works.
to like sum it up from a male standpoint, you just have to kind of step back and be like, shit, what do I have to
Right.
do?
Do I even know how this works?
Yeah, you know,
me, when I
just because you're
encounter it,
doing it
right?
doesn't mean you're doing it well.
When I come upon it, right?
Oh.
That's what,
All over.
And
the place.
just because a
But-
girl is moaning and like acting
Yeah.
like she's enjoying it doesn't mean she is. And what
So confused.
I know, but
But
it's
no,
like it's
yeah.
hard for us to be like sitting there and just being like, this is fucking stupid, because it just makes it awkward.
yeah, but like for me, when I'm like, if I know I'm gonna have sex with this girl, like I already know that I'm gonna nut. You know, like
Exactly.
that's guys. Yeah,
That's
If
a
you don't
foregone
have
So
conclusion.
for me,
Yeah.
I would make it fun and do whatever to make
Right.
her feel good.
Right,
Like
just
at the
as
end of
long
the day,
as
because
it's
I already
not
know.
awkward.
A lot of people should take
Yeah.
that approach. Like, you know what's going to happen.
My
at the
advice,
end.
Yeah.
my advice for guys is like, if you want to be not an asshole, learn about female anatomy before you fucking have sex. Like even if you're just fucking, you don't know when you're gonna have sex. If you're a virgin, if you haven't had sex in 3 years, just go on a little bit of a Google search. Just read some fucking articles written by women of like, this is some great tips. Like here's 5 tips to, do this or that, or like what
Just
you should
the
do, or
tips.
like here's a fucking chart.
I'm gonna give you a
with
summary
some
right
arrows.
now. I don't think it's rocket science.
It's
The
not.
female
It's
body
really
is
not.
amazing, and I don't think
It is.
it.
That's the thing. It's not, but the way that some guys approach it, it's mind blowing how fucking clueless they really
that's what's
are.
crazy to
It's
me. It's like-
mind blowing. It's
'cause
like,
of porn.
oh my god! And how do you?
It's,
and,
probably, it's definitely 'cause
like
of
if you're
just
having
'cause of
sex,
porn.
it is. And if you're a girl and you're having sex with a guy that you don't know that well, how awkward would it be to be like, dude, stop. What the fuck are you doing? Stop.
Right.
How? Because it makes him feel weird. It makes you feel weird. It's awkward. The mood is dead. So a lot of the time, the girl just sits back and is like, "Oh, when is this gonna be fucking over? He's just fucking. What is he doing? What the fuck? Where is? Does he think that's where it is? What the fuck? Where is he touching me?" And that's just what we do because it's awkward. It's fucking
I don't
awkward.
understand
So
how-
that's why like dudes, they need to take it upon themselves to fucking learn that shit.
Well, it's not okay. Listen, you can read how to ride a bike.
I
Doesn't
mean,
mean you're
it's-
gonna be
no,
a fucking
it's-
riding a bike like a BMX.
Exactly, but it's
person.
not even as hard as riding a bike. It's
You
if
just
you,
put
I
thought
think
to
if
it.
you
You just
truly
put thought
read
to it.
one article and it tells you to do this with your tongue, do that with your
Yeah,
fingers,
but everything-
do this motion, it's easy. It's like
I
it's
think
an
it's-
article.
I feel
pretty
like
easy.
women are mainly so different than other women, but men. If you lined up like 10 women and you were like, all right, bang this one dude, he'd probably have maybe the same ish experience. But if that one dude banged 10 different women, they'd all have a different response. Because there's
That's true.
I think there's guys who
That is
know
true.
how a vagina works and
okay.
can basically.
they know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. That women are so different in what they like.
are.
And
There-
stuff
it's
like
it's
that.
a very like emotional, like
Yeah.
the sensual.
No,
like,
yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
this- dudes are like, all right.
But I mean, but that's my thing. I think it's easy to figure out if it's somebody you're gonna have repeat sex with. A one night, you toss that in the trash. Whatever happens that night happens for the dude and for the chick. You chose to do a one night stand. Hey, don't expect too much.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're
Right.
talking about somebody you're gonna have repeat relationships with, you put
Exactly.
some thought to it and know, okay, so there's these many different places on their body. Some combination of attention to these places they're going to enjoy.
Right.
It's like
Just
a
start
video game.
I
working
think
on it,
I
right.
do like with what you're saying though is like guys a lot of the time for one night stands guys think I'm not gonna see this girl again so it's all about me. I
For
feel
sure.
like it's sad that guys are like that and that I feel like there's got to be guys out there who take pride in being a good sexual partner, and if you are not one of those guys, I just hope that these guys marinate and they know in their head that they ain't shit and
Okay.
that they're fucking that these girls are going and they're talking shit about you and they're
Not
saying
only are they talking shit, there's a new thing called Dick Yelp, and I just heard this on the Joe Budden podcast. Okay, and
God,
I'm not
that's
trying to steal their
perfect.
topic or nothing like that, but I listened to the Joe Budden podcast, and something came up. If you look up the hashtag Dick Yelp on Twitter, I haven't done it yet, but I want to. Not Dick Yelp, but Pussy Yelp. So you look up Pussy Yelp hashtag. There's men giving reviews on women they had sex with.
That's
Dick Yelp is
fucking
women
weird.
giving reviews on dudes they have sex with. So how it works is the women sends the picture and the handle of the guy they had sex with in a DM to that handle, and then
It's already a thing.
Dude, that's
what I'm saying.
fucking
It's
weird.
a thing. It's a
Actually,
thing.
that makes me feel yucky. I feel like that's like a revenge porn type stuff.
It is, but I promise you, you gotta be careful what
Wait,
you're
wait,
doing out
wait,
here
wait.
or your reputation. 'cause
They
you
have
won't be on
like
Dick
their
Yelp.
Twitter handle.
No, they
I don't
do.
know how
They
to
give
do
tag you and
reviews.
say, "Hey, your dick sucks, bro."
Right.
Damn, that's really.
All right.
That's
But they no,
mean.
they put it on. They send a DM, give the description and the handle of the dude that they had sex with, and whoever's running this Dick Yelp page, I guess they put. I don't know. Do they put the handle on the feed as well? Because then they report it on the feed. I
Dude,
think
that
with a picture of the
sucks.
dude, they got a picture of the dude too.
Oh my God, that's really like damaging.
Like
Is
a
that
violation
slander?
of some.
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, isn't
Yeah.
that
I think
basically
there's
slander?
like
It could be,
several
but
things
isn't
wrong with
that-
that.
Hey, I don't know. I haven't been there yet. I
It
wanted
could
to
just
check
be
it
like a
out.
one night thing where you're just not on your game that night.
Hey,
You
That
drank a
happens
little
too.
too
You
much.
had too much fucking spaghetti.
that's what happens
You
2 o'clock
had
in the
too
morning
much
when you
spaghetti.
show up
Happens,
at
dude,
when you,
happens.
when you decide not to go to Waffle House, but you're gonna go to a different restaurant. You just pop up something.
Yeah.
And you're like, I didn't like that place.
Wow, that's
I'm gonna
crazy.
send a review about it.
Yeah.
Dick
Yeah.
Yelp.
That's
careful
well,
out there,
that's
guys.
kinda
So
weird.
I guess
for
we
me.
can say if there's any single dudes out there and they're hooking up with chicks, you go first and see what happens.
Take a minute.
right?
Take a minute.
Right? Be like, no, let me.
Take some pride. Take some
She'd be like,
pride.
whoa, okay, cool.
Right. Which
some
I thought
pride.
that's how most men
I think-
approached it.
Yeah, ladies first.
But
right?
apparently not.
No, definitely not.
definitely
Apparently not.
Definitely not.
I think it was Andrew Schultz who said, most of the entire time you're having sex, I'm trying not to come. Where I'm trying to make you come and me not come. And then as soon as you come,
I'm coming.
it's party time for me. That's
exactly.
I only enjoy sex for
when
the time after
or
you
when
come
you know,
until I come.
or when you know they're like a minute out, but you're 45 seconds. You're like, shit.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So the whole time I can't really focus and really get into
So
it
there's
because
guys-
I'm
It's like a
trying
mind
not to-
game.
Guys
Yeah.
don't enjoy doing stuff to girls though. Like they don't enjoy it.
Yeah,
No,
to
yeah.
a certain extent, not as much as coming.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's so weird.
It's the truth. It's the truth. You telling me you enjoy?
feel like I enjoy,
playing
like,
with
a-
boobs more than orgasming.
Boobs are pretty cool, but I know what you mean.
I mean, if it goes
Yeah,
like
you
a
do.
long
Yeah,
time,
you
I don't know. Sometimes for me,
I
The
don't
boob
know.
I
play
feel
is
like-
funner.
no, like
I feel
just
like
playing around.
if
and
you're
stuff.
doing that
Yeah.
and they're enjoying it,
for me,
I know what you're saying though.
I don't feel you.
I
You're
think
in
I
the
enjoy
zone.
it when she's enjoying it.
I'm being facetious. 'cause the
Like in
truth
my
of
head,
it-
if I know I'm satisfying her and she's really enjoying it, I think that's kind of pleasuring me.
right?
Yeah,
No,
I
no,
would
no,
hope
that
so.
definitely is a
because it
good
makes
thing.
girls
Yeah.
like the last thing we need is to know that you're not enjoying it, because then we'll just fucking fake it because it's
Yeah.
just like, this is fucking awkward. I don't want to just like lay here while he's like,
Well, it's not that
not
he's
having
not
fun,
enjoying
you
it,
know?
but I do think most men are consciously making sure to not enjoy it too much.
right.
That's what I
Okay, yeah,
said.
because then they'll get
Consciously not
amped up.
enjoying it too much. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, what else do you want to talk about? Sex? Have we
there
sexed
like-
everything
is
out?
there
of
like
here?
Well, I have a
Is there-
book recommendation, I guess.
A book? Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. It's from the 70s. It's called The Joy of Sex.
The joys. I've heard of this.
Yeah, I got the first edition copy. Best part is the weird naked hippie illustrations.
Oh, that's cute.
Come on.
Oh, that's how they did it in the 70s.
Well, no, I mean,
Look at
that's
that
how
bu-
people
look at
looked
that
in
bush.
the 70s. but-
Everybody's hairy, both the women
Yeah.
and the men.
Is that two dudes?
No, that's
That's
they're hairy enough.
The Joy of Sex. Check it out. And if Dr. Laura is still on the air, check her out every now and again. I thought she was. Everybody who is like older than 50, if I haven't heard from them in a while, I'm like, are they dead? No, maybe. Who knows? Anyway, all right, we sexed this thing out. I didn't think that was going to happen, but it did.
so funny.
Hey, that's what you got. Not safe for work podcast.
Yeah.
But we still get. I'm
Hey,
definitely going to tag
this is
all
a
of
safe
the
space.
description and let people know
Yeah.
because this was
Wait, I have a question.
a bit
though.
much.
Is
Not
there
a good
like
one for your mom.
a certain way you want it to end when you come? Is there a certain way you want to come?
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
There's everybody's certain way they want to finish, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Everybody has their preferred position.
Like
to
this
finish
position.
in.
This is how
Or
I
like
wanna
what you're
finish.
feeling at the time.
Yeah. It's like, okay, this day I want to finish
Every
like
Tuesday, this is what happens.
that. This
Yeah.
day I want to finish like this. It just happens,
Yeah.
you know, what and then on top of that, your body or what you like the most, you
Or what you're vibing
try
at
to
that
get
time.
to that position. You probably save it for last most of the time. I do. You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how it goes. Anyway, all right, man. Enough sex. You guys are fucking freaks. Every
Yeah.
last one of you.
Yeah.
Look at yourself.
I know I am. Anyway, all right. Let's do some dark corner. Let's do some dark corner.
Should
Lighten the
we-
mood, but
Oh, boy.
I mean, but
Let's get,
porno and PV parts is a section of this.
If
So
it happens,
if we
it
get it, we
are
just
we
can
spinning the
skip it.
wheel this time, ladies
Yeah.
and
Let's spin
gentlemen?
the
We
wheel.
have perfected the wheel of the dark corner, where we will
We should
actually.
post it.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a
good,
picture and
yeah.
post it out there, see what it looks like. But as opposed to doing every single category, we're gonna do like we originally thought we were gonna do it and select one. So, EP, spin the wheel. Wheel of Fortune. that was a slow spin, man. You gotta give that some juice. There you
There
go.
you go.
Ah,
I didn't want to break it.
big money, no whammies. Big money, no
Oh,
whammies.
are you kidding me?
Porn
no.
and pee-pee
Oh my
parts.
god.
We're gonna-
we
we
gotta do it
you
again.
gotta-
We're gonna
One
keep
more.
going.
Although I did have some good stories in there.
What is
What's
that?
that one?
Oh,
That works.
drugs and other
Drugs, dead kids, and other depressing
Drugs,
facts.
dead kids. Okay.
Oh, dead
Jesus.
kids.
Drugs, dead kids, and
Uh-oh.
other.
Of course you get that one.
Well, I mean that it is my life.
No new friends.
No, well, I went home and there was 2 funerals, dude.
Oh,
God,
no. I'm sorry.
Oh no. So you want drugs or dead kids?
Oh,
Dead
I
kids
mean,
is-
Give us
Kids.
both. We in the category. Give us
Oh,
All right.
dead kids, then drugs.
So we'll dead kids first. Virginia Beach shooting yesterday.
Oh, no,
I
yeah.
just heard about
Wait,
that.
what?
What happened?
There was a shooting yesterday. 12 people dead in
Whoa.
Virginia.
Yep.
Holy shit.
12
Where
people.
did they do
I
it
didn't
at?
You didn't hear about that?
It was a disgruntled worker. It was like a city government building. Hold on, let's pull it up.
Yep.
It was a government building. They went in and shot up.
Yeah, the guy worked there and was disgruntled and
That's
2
horrible. And so you
45
just-
caliber
So
handguns.
why were there kids in there? If it
No,
was a
I
city
mean-
building.
Dead people, I guess.
Dead people, not dead
Oh,
kids.
okay.
It just dead kids flows better in the
Right,
title,
right.
but so dead people.
So
man, baby rabies.
That was like the I don't know, not the joke, but it was always the disgruntled worker is the one that's going to come back
Yeah.
and shoot up everybody.
Awful.
You know what I mean? And
That's
I don't know
awful.
if that's been the case recently. Like,
No,
this is the
I don't think
first-
we've had one of these in a while.
Yeah,
Well,
like
we had that
disgruntled
like
worker case.
the lady or the guy who shot those people on air at the news station. You remember
Oh,
that?
that was a couple of years ago.
That was
was
horrible.
dope. Did you see the video? I mean,
It wasn't dope. It was horrifying.
did you see
Hold on. He shot them while they were live.
live
Yeah,
TV?
yes,
He was a
and the
disgruntled
video
worker.
is horrifying. It's horrible.
That's
It's absolutely
fucked up.
devastating.
Damn.
It's not the worst video
I
I've
don't
seen
know why
online.
these disgruntled people. It's like you fucked up. You got fired. Get over it.
But did they, or were they done
Well,
dirty?
a lot of the time it's like they're killing innocent people. It's like, do they
That's
deserve
true.
to die
That's
just because? I mean, just get over
This
it.
is why you always be nice to everybody. You just never know.
It's true.
You never know. Be nice to your neighbor, your fellow cubicle.
It's sad that it has
worker.
to be that way. I mean,
you
yeah,
gotta
you should
do
be
the
nice to
thanks for the
people.
candy.
But there's a
Dane
lot of
Cook joke.
people.
Yeah, the Dane Cook. It's like
There's a lot of people I think who are nice, and they still get shot by those people because they're in the way because they're just there.
True,
It's
true,
sad.
true.
Yeah, that's the crazy circumstances of life. Being at the
Damn
wrong
shame,
place.
But we won't see any changes to our gun laws. They're going to be protected, which is nice because you need
Are
those.
these people mentally insane?
No,
Or-
he got
or-
his guns legally and everything.
So
I
that's
don't
the
think
thing
it's-
about it. Like, but
I mean,
what-
I think you have to be a little disjointed to go shoot up your work.
right. What pushes
Normal
somebody
people
to
don't do
that
that.
point? Like,
Yeah.
I don't.
You're just fed up with it, man. That's
You
it.
fed up, but why go to that point? If I'm fed up, you know what? I'm never
Maybe
talking to
his
anybody.
life
Over,
is-
I'm
maybe
never
his life is-
shopping at any of their.
But maybe his life is
partners
ruined
again.
or something. You know, he's like,
Well, if your life's ruined, this sounds really harsh, but just
Start over.
off yourself
And I
if you're
guess
going to shoot anybody.
couldn't
Why
do
are you
it.
going to kill innocent people?
well, did he off
Yeah,
himself
start
after?
with yourself.
Oh, no, the
If you
cops
wanna,
killed
you want to
him.
go on a
Well,
shooting spree,
wow.
start with yourself.
Well, there's his
So
way
he
of getting
shot
out,
like
yeah.
what? Shot 12 people and then he got in a gun battle with the cops and they
Whoa.
put him down.
Yeah. They better,
Yikes. Did any cops
So
get hurt?
sad.
That's
No,
crazy.
maybe not that I've
Way
seen.
more people's lives are destroyed because of that. It's like,
But that's the thing that doesn't happen outside of here too often.
No, but
no, it doesn't.
So
in other
why the
countries.
fuck here? Is it because we work
Because this
too
country is
hard, or
all
people
broken.
just? I don't know.
There's
You
a lot
know,
of reasons.
That's something to look at because
Yeah, we should talk about that on another one. Is like just
Yeah, the
American
laws-
work culture is
is so
so
different.
different, and it's
So
so
different.
unhealthy. We are the unhappiest,
They have
like
tea
modernized
time in England.
country.
Is it England? Like they stop for
Yeah,
tea
well,
time,
and
like
they
3
also
hours in the
have-
middle of
South
the day?
American countries,
Most-
siestas.
Yeah.
Most countries also have like a 30-hour work week. I think
Wait, so what's the best?
I think in Europe, like in England,
it's only
they have
30
30 or
hours,
32.
and both parents get like a couple months of paid maternity leave, and
Right.
it's a lot. And then you get by law every job you get 6 sick days and vacation time because they value your fucking life as a human
Yeah.
being. Whereas
Your
in
mental
America, it's like we are.
Which
This is the
it
grind
makes
culture.
sense if you take care of your asset.
Yeah.
he's
Well, that's
gonna
why
work
so many
harder
people
for
now
you.
are trying to do
Exactly.
jobs that are not that 9 to 5 grind.
If your employee
Yeah.
is falling
So
apart
what-
from exhaustion,
what is the
what do you think
best-
you get production you getting out
or
of it?
who is the best work? Whatever.
I've heard that
country
like the
to work
happiest
country,
countries
yeah.
are like Norway,
That's like
Sweden,
Finland.
Finland,
Yeah.
Iceland.
Denmark.
Those areas are like perfect.
What
They
about
have
Asia?
everything.
Is Asia
Well,
not-
then you have places like Japan who
Or is-
their work ethic is
They
if you
overwork, right?
aren't 100% all the time, people feel like they're not worthy, and that's how they commit suicide.
That's why there's such a high suicide rate.
Yeah.
But like I think
Go
it's
hard
it's
to go home.
definitely like it's a balance, and it's also a lot has to do with universal health care too, because a lot of the time in America, not only do we not have a good situation for where we're working, but a lot of people don't have health care that covers mental health.
No, it's usually like a
So-
special.
Yeah, I think I remember
gotta pay
seeing
more
on
for it.
Reddit somebody
Yeah.
posted, I was feeling suicidal and I went to the hospital and then they came out with like a to $3,000 bill.
Yep.
Nobody wants to be like, well, fuck, I feel like shit now. Is
I
it
think,
worth going to the hospital
It's
for?
like everybody should be able to get a psychiatrist and get your mental health, because that's like the most important thing. People think that's not important. That's the thing that causes people to kill themselves, to kill others, to do crazy shit. And we're one of the worst countries in the world for mental health. They still have a stigma about it. Some people, refuse to acknowledge it as a real health concern.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
like
all
being
comes back
close
to
to
that.
people who you see go through things, you can understand how it's easy to spiral down, especially when you feel like you have nobody to talk to. When you're in your own head, I mean, just think about all the things you are in your own head about. And you're not crazy, but you see how it spirals out of control, like jealousy, like expectations,
Exactly.
like trying to advance at your workplace, like all these different things that you like go
Obsessing
over and
about,
obsess over in your
am I
head.
my partner's best?
It spirals. Yeah, exactly. Am I my part? It spirals out of control, and that's like, I guess it's a part of mental health. But imagine if someone had an actual mental health issue and just they're only talking to themselves. They need to be able to have the resources to reach out to somebody, because I promise
I
you.
mean, they're out there, but
They're not available
Not
to
easy
most
for
Americans.
everyone.
Because
Not
for
easy for
me,
everyone.
like, I mean, I don't have health insurance. I pay, because I have, a couple mental, I have like depression, anxiety, and I have to be on medication, or else I would not be able to live a good quality of life. And I don't have health insurance. I pay like $150 for my appointments that I have to go to every month, and then I pay about $100 for my medication every month.
And you have to do the visits to get the
Yes.
medication.
Yeah.
checks.
And my visits,
Just for that dude to be like, thanks.
the visits
check.
are
Here you go.
5 minutes long. They just look at the computer. They say nothing to me, and they say, "How's everything working out for you?" And I say,
good. Here's
it's fine. They
your
say,
scripts.
"Is this dosage still working?" And I'm like, "Yep." And they're like, "Okay, see you next time." I'm like, and that's it. And that's all I need to do. It's so bullshit.
Ridiculous.
It's horrible. So like, I can see why people don't prioritize it, and it's really sad.
All right. So speaking of drugs, you want to do that one too? Yeah.
Yeah, this was the one Coca-Cola heir, he's a billionaire, arrested for allegedly filling his plane with weed products.
Coca-Cola heir?
Yeah.
The heir to the Coca-Cola dynasty?
They're flying weed across the country. They
What?
have 5,000 plants, seeds, and CBD products, all on his private plane.
Where was he
What
flying
do they
out
pull
of?
him over in the air?
Was he flying out of a legal state, from a state that doesn't legalize marijuana? Or is that just
Most
illegal in
likely.
every state? You can't put plants on a plane?
Well, no, you can't put plants on there. There's actually who was it? TSA just lifted the ban for like CBD oil pens and shit.
Oh,
So you can fly
yeah.
with that now, but yeah,
He had too much. Just way too much.
5,000
I mean,
plants.
of course. That's
Yeah.
not-
Jeez.
that's the whole
That
point.
is so
So what was he going to
much.
do with it? Like,
distribute it. Where was he flying out of?
he's trying to go build a dispensary somewhere?
Yeah,
Start up
probably.
yeah.
There's big money in that, man.
But I
Yeah.
feel like if he's the heir to Coca-Cola, he should have known other channels
That's
to
his
get something like
passion.
that
Must
started.
be his
Why?
passion.
Why?
It's his own private jet, though. What's easier
Also,
than
a lot
putting
of
this
rich
shit
kids
in?
think
Yeah.
that they can do whatever they want and not get in
Right.
trouble.
That's
So
true.
it's
I
probably.
mean, a lot of times they do.
How old is
Yes,
he?
they do. You're right.
50 years old.
Oh, he's not a rich kid.
Yeah, he's a fucking grown.
Well, he's
super
probably
grown
still a
old
spoiled
dude.
rich kid in the way he acts.
Fuck.
Where did he get caught? Where the hell is? Where was that?
This dude's flying with a whole dispensary in his plane.
Damn.
That is pretty insane.
It's pretty dope. It's
Yeah.
just why is it
Nice
not
pun.
federally legal now? Right, I'm good with those
Right.
puns.
That reminds me of like Cowboy Bebop,
Oh, and I guess
where
last
they're
one.
just like these criminals in spaceships.
Shrooms are the safest drug you could take.
Yeah, I
still
still,
wanna
I'm
try
still,
it. Did we
I am
talk about
still
this?
on my
So
shrooms
I still
kick.
wanna
We
try
talked
it.
about it being decriminalized in Colorado.
Right.
I think California is the next state to do it.
That makes sense.
But
I
they
still
said-
wanna try
remember you
'em.
said it helps you do something.
Yeah, no, it
Oh,
it
it's
cures
a-
depression and
Cures
stuff.
depression, yeah.
by
Yeah.
hallucinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, by taking them. I want to do it so bad.
It
Then I wouldn't have to pay $150 a month for.
So
Yeah, you're like, what?
most of these drugs release trigger your brain to like dump your endorphins and all your other stuff that makes you
Right,
happy,
right.
and it's like a reset for it. So after you're done hallucinating,
Where is it legal?
Colorado.
You're
All right,
calm and
so,
level after the
yeah.
high's over and all of that.
Yep.
That's interesting.
we
I'm
doing a
scared
safe
to do it.
space
'Cause
trip
I
to
don't know what I'm
Colorado?
I'm
gonna see.
scared too, but I think I have to do it.
It's
'cause
not that scary.
It's gonna help me.
I don't know. I just
Let's go to.
It's
You know,
not.
I have
It's
a-
hits of acid.
He's like,
scary.
hint,
I have
hey
it. I
guys.
overanalyze shit. So I have
too. I have anxiety
a
and stuff.
issue making sure that I know what's going on at all times. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I like
If
to be in control of
That's
myself.
why weed doesn't agree with me.
It's not like
shrooms-
Fear and Loathing, man. It's like you're not. Yeah.
No. That's acid.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know. I don't like to not know what's going on.
It's the safest
Kinda.
drug. It's,
No, I'm
it's
the
easier
same
than
way.
alcohol.
But if I'm
But
hallucinating,
what
I'm not gonna
helped
know
me
what's going
feel
on.
better about it was knowing that there are people who literally take shrooms and go to fucking work, and and you would never know that they were on shrooms. I have literally talked to people that I was at work with at the same time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, last Tuesday I was tripping balls on shrooms," and I was like, "You fucking were? You were working alongside me." I don't think that's. I mean, like you shouldn't be.
That's
You
not
shouldn't
cool.
take shrooms. I think that that's wrong. But the fact that they did it, I was like, okay, so you weren't fucking freaking out and seeing
No.
shit and like.
Well, you got to
you
control
know.
your dose.
Well,
just
that's what
like
I was
anything.
about to say. How much does it happen? Am I going to be at work and like, oh, this screwdriver looks like a stick of dynamite, and just throwing screwdrivers across the warehouse? Like, what am I?
I mean, if you took like, if you ate
Like a half a cap or something.
a half a cap ain't gonna do shit. If you ate like a half ounce,
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
lot of
Then you would be
mushrooms.
seeing some
It's
stuff.
like Eminem. You ate the whole bag. I didn't know you ate the whole bag.
You're gonna die.
I don't know. I'm just scared. I'm scared of hallucinogens.
Yeah. No, I
hallucinogens.
am too. I get that. It's
Well,
just
what
the
a-
more I learn about them, the more I'm like, this might be beneficial to
work.
me.
I
So
showed you the TED Talk though.
You do it
that
first.
I've already
You
done
go
it.
first. Oh.
I want to get some people together to like do it with me and have like a few babysitters.
So I'll guide you through it if you want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't,
Be my
I-
spirit guide.
Are we
I'll
cutting this
watch.
out?
I can
We're
watch.
cutting this out, right?
No, I'll watch.
I just want to like do shrooms and play Yu-Gi-Oh with people or something, because then you could really like see the shadow realm and stuff and like.
Are you talking about the card game?
Yeah, I love Yu-Gi-Oh.
That would be amazing.
Wouldn't that
I'm
be
not gonna lie.
fun?
Okay, so now I can see some good applications to the
Yeah.
shrooms. If you get high enough on shrooms and play shit
and play like
Yu-Gi-Oh,
Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or something, that would be so
see the whole
fun.
fucking
Like
thing.
I'm about to banish you to the real ass shadow
That
realm.
would be dope.
Bye.
That would be fucking dope.
And you like tell somebody they're going and they're like, no. They start seeing it. My grandpa's deck has no pathetic
You
cards.
see Exodius come out
Yes.
What's that other game where people make up shit?
Oh my god,
Oh,
Dungeons and
D&D,
Dragons.
D&D
Yeah.
on shrooms?
That would be
Oh my
awesome.
God.
See,
As
there
long
we
as
go.
the dungeon master wasn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Dungeon Master has to be level.
No,
No, he
Let's
might
do a
have
business once we move to Colorado or something. Let's do a business where we have like a cool card shop where the people are on shrooms and then there's like a referee in the Yu-Gi-Oh
We can lead them
game.
through like
Or
dungeons
there's
and shit.
the dungeon master, and they are the ones who are also kind of your babysitter, but they're the ones who are helping like enhance your trip, and they help like to make it like an immersive and real experience, so you really feel like you're like summoning like.
You think
Blue
we can
Eyes
get
White
this,
Dragon.
Like, sell this to Disney? Get a room at Disney?
Wouldn't that
does
be
this?
awesome?
No, not Disney.
Not Disney, no.
They put that through Touchstone. Yeah.
Damn it. Who owns Six Flags?
What is it? It's
Universal
Warner
Studios?
Brothers.
Universal
Warner
Stu-
Brothers,
Warner
right?
Brothers?
Because don't they do
I'm just
Bugs
saying,
Bunny
I can
and
see
stuff?
this at a theme park and saying,
And
hey,
DC?
you want to do this?
Why don't we just make our
Game?
own theme park?
Yeah.
We have to move to Colorado though.
Yeah.
Which I'm
well, I
cool
mean, it's getting to the point in Georgia where I love Georgia, but I'm kind of like, Georgia's,
That's my
Yeah.
part of the country. Come see the mountains.
yeah. We'll see.
No.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
What else we got? We got anything else?
We're
or-
so goofy.
I mean,
That's it for D.
That's
for
it.
I
drugs
mean,
and
unless you
dead
want to
kids.
spin again, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
One more
it.
spin?
Yeah, just do one more.
One more spin. One more spin for
Yeah.
old time's sake. Let's see what we got. PP parts.
It's gonna be PP parts. Yeah, I told you.
PP parts.
Is it rigged? Like,
All right, let's take it out the way we started it. Give me some PP parts.
All right,
I paused. I don't want the PP part. You know what I mean. Give me the article, damn it.
Do you want? Well, I have. It's mostly weird new kinks. Or do you want to know about an STD?
STD.
STD.
Let's do
Let's
it.
educate some people.
Bad news.
Damn.
Yeah.
Kissing with your tongue may transmit gonorrhea.
Oh.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You have to
Really?
have it first, though.
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
how do you know if you have gonorrhea?
You get tested?
Oh, you just
Yeah,
get tested.
you should just
can't- you
regularly
can't
get
see it?
tested.
Okay.
you can't
should just-
see
it should be
gonorrhea.
like-
No.
No, I thought gonorrhea was like the clap.
No, that's chlamydia.
Oh, never
Oh,
mind.
so
The clap when you lost in
So you
Powers?
can't physically see gonorrhea.
What are the
No.
symptoms of gonorrhea?
Isn't it you?
There
It
has to
hurts
be
when you pee
something.
or something.
Oh,
That's syphilis.
I thought that was just general.
All right.
Yeah,
We need,
well, if it hurts when you
I
pee,
don't
you should
know,
probably
dude.
get
we
figured
need some
out.
symptoms of gonorrhea
Got that shit.
because
Yeah.
I can't believe gonorrhea is a sexually
Gonorrhea?
transmitted
Well,
gonorrhea?
and there's super gonorrhea now too.
Gonorrhea?
No, there's
Gonorrhea
not.
sounds like a
There
lady in
is,
New York.
yeah, super gonorrhea.
It goes Jane
Gonorrhea?
Gonorrhea.
I don't think.
Is there super gonorrhea God?
Gonorrhea?
Gonorrhea.
That sounds like a magic card.
Is there super gonorrhea God
it's like
2?
God-
There's no
Diarrhea.
symptoms of gonorrhea. You
Gonorrhea.
meet somebody at the club and wind up kissing them that night. Like,
You could get gonorrhea in your
that's
mouth.
fucked up. I kissed a stripper before.
Oh, that took me to super
What?
gonorrhea.
Holy shit.
That's a whole nother
But
story.
you've been
but
tested,
still,
so
I
you
could have, you know what I mean? Like, I could have been with the
Gonorrhea. You
gonorrhea.
could have got gonorrhea.
Yeah.
Gone wrong.
I would have been gone wrong.
Yeah, you go.
Gonorrhea, multiple gonorrheas.
You're gonna go see a doctor.
God, that's fucking crazy.
Symptoms.
There gotta be symptoms. I thought it always was. I never.
Yeah, no, well, you know what? A lot of sexually transmitted diseases
Have no
actually they have no
symptoms, yeah.
symptoms. They lie dormant.
I think
you
they
don't
should.
even know you have them.
They should
That's
have
why
this podcast be on every sex ed that you have in like 4th grade.
you should
Just
have
play this episode.
4th grade. Jesus Christ. That's why you should get tested regularly especially if you're like
And per usual,
you
it's
know.
worse for women.
Damn.
oh yeah, like everything else in
What are
fucking
the
life.
symptoms?
That's perfect.
Lay it on me.
Increased vaginal discharge.
Hot.
Right. Painful urination, vaginal bleeding
That's
between
wonderful.
periods.
That's great.
Yikes.
That's so good.
Painful
Love it.
intercourse, abdomen pain.
And that's
pelvic
all
pain.
for females.
Yeah,
I should
basically.
go
What,
to
what about
the-
men? What do the men get?
Men, you know what? Men get like
You're just a
Oh,
carrier.
Oh, here we
Oh,
go.
go ahead.
fucking Jolly Rancher.
Men get a high
Pus
five.
like discharge from the tip of the penis.
That's what it is.
Swelled
Heard that before.
testicles.
That's
Wait, what is
fucking
it?
gross.
What is it?
Swollen testicles?
Swollen testicles, pus like
What if your,
Ew.
what if your testicles are already like
Dude.
big? I'm just saying. How do you know?
Do you not get a physical every year?
I think it's you could probably tell
Never
if it's
go
a
to the
little
doctor.
bigger
Yeah.
than normal.
And painful urination. So
Oh, the usual.
Once again,
you
it's
know,
not-
you know.
That's crazy.
I'm
That
not kidding.
sucks.
Before I kiss a girl, I'll be like, before I kiss you, do you have any?
When's the last time you got tested
Oh,
for gonorrhea?
gross.
Yeah.
What's that?
How's your
Huh?
discharge?
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Good?
Do you have
Yeah.
overly, you know?
is it pussy?
Yeah, a little pussy.
How's your pussy?
Does it
What?
hurt down there?
That's gross.
Oh man,
Discharge is normal.
Yeah, how's that discharge? You know,
Yeah.
normal,
But yeah, I guess
moderate.
if
What we
there's-
got?
It's been
Oh.
more than usual.
Oh yeah.
Or?
It
Right,
can
right.
also affect your rectum, so you
Oh,
get
no.
discharged pus from your
Oh
butthole.
my fucking god. That sounds like my nightmare.
I feel like that's more of
Or-
a clear sign, though.
yeah.
Is it clear?
Yeah, like-
clear?
You know
Is
what I
it
mean,
clear?
just like, hey, there's a wet spot
I
in the back
can't
of your
imagine
asshole.
pus coming out of any of my
That's
orifices.
disgusting.
That is so gross.
And you can get it in your eye.
Oh no.
Gonorrhea?
Whoa.
And you
What?
discharge pus from your eyes?
No, it just
Just be careful out there.
That'd be
Now that we
crazy.
got everybody amped up on having
He's
sex.
like, why are you crying
Right.
so much?
Please
I guess that is a
be
good reminder,
careful.
yeah.
So wait, do you cry a lot?
wait.
Well, you
no,
get- if you got gonorrhea, you
gonorrhea in your eye.
Discharge?
You cry pus.
Eye pain, sensitivity to light. Oh no,
Oh
pus-like
my
discharge
God.
from
Oh,
both
God.
eyes.
Oh,
That's crazy.
Dude,
Those
okay,
are-
okay.
those are not
Okay,
just eye
listen. Listen, imagine if, this is fucked up. Imagine if you go to the doctor and you're like, dude, I got like this, red eye thing. You think he's like, yo, dude, you got an STD. You're like, my fucking eye?
Yeah.
I thought I had pink eye.
How
Oh,
did
it's
you get it?
gonorrhea.
Mezzy, you need to go get checked.
Oh shit! If you thought you had pink eye and then wind up with gonorrhea, that's a bad
In
day.
your
That's a
eyeball.
bad fucking day.
That is-
How did that
is a terrible day.
happen?
No, I think it's just because I wore my
I would
contacts
see
for like
more
3 months.
girls
The
getting
same pair.
it than guys.
Didn't you get new contacts?
Yeah, but I wore that pair for like 3 months.
Okay.
And I took it out yesterday. And
Yeah,
I did, yeah.
I sleep in mine.
it's
for
irritating
years.
my eye.
It's amazing. But
You're doing damage to your eyes.
I'm good now. I got surgery. I can see clearly
That surgery
now.
is so bad. That's amazing. I'm so jealous.
It is. All right, guys. Anything else we want to talk about in the
No,
safe
we
space?
No,
talked about
everybody
a
knows
whole
everything
lot
about
of-
me
we did.
now.
We did. We covered sex, safe sex.
Sex
By the
positive.
way,
I think it was very sex positive.
This is the safe space.
I think all our viewers need to go have sex now.
Yeah.
Just go.
No, just
Why
be
not?
positive
Yeah, just
about
go
it.
do it.
It's
Why
okay
not,
to
you know?
have sex.
Go talk to that girl and just do it.
Going home to see my
Well,
wife.
You're right.
Consent, please.
You're right.
No, just do
Get
it.
consent
Just do it.
first. Imagine.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Yes, get
Oh,
consent,
I
a
will
piece of
fuck
paper and a
you up.
contract.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Because it's serious out
Yeah.
here.
No, it
Be
is.
respect-
Seriously.
Be a gentleman.
Serious out here.
Be respectful.
And wear protection
Make
because
sure
if you
she's not
get
too drunk.
pregnant, then she may get killed if she try to have
No,
an
you still
abortion.
got
She
time.
would go to jail.
You still got time.
Like, this is what sex is now. We talked about all this shit, but you got to get consent and then make sure she don't get pregnant because you can't get an abortion.
Yeah.
Like, woo.
Yeah.
That's
it's
great.
Be
crazy.
smart.
That's
Just be
great.
smart.
If you're not smart, jack off before you
I was
leave
just
the
about to say,
house.
just go home.
Just
Take care of yourself.
if you're gonna do it,
Don't
get
walk around
ready,
with that loaded gun, buddy.
You gotta be
Yeah.
ready for the consequences. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Tickle your
There's
own pickle,
consequences.
Yeah.
finagle your own bagel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what? If I was single at this moment, I'd be jacking off a lot. I was like, fuck this. It's not
Yeah.
worth it. It's
I
not
get
worth
that.
So how much is too much?
it.
Oh my
you know what? We'll
God.
talk about that off air. We're going to end it
Yeah.
right there, buddy. Thank you, everybody who joined us in the safe space. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please check us out. Follow us. Comment on the page. Follow us on YouTube, and subscribe to us just so you can stay up to date on everything we're dropping. We will be back next week with something amazing. Really appreciate you guys listening. We need more interaction from our community. So please, everyone here will be very responsive. Don't be afraid to reach out. If you like something, let us know. If you hated something, let us know. We'll be right there to talk to you. So until next time, in the safe space, hope everyone in the community is having a good time. And just remember that I love you. Peace.